Hello and welcome to the watch along with Korean Zombie and Max Holloway. What a fight this is going to be. Hello, Original Sin says good evening, Coach Feb. Good evening, sir. How are you? I want to say before anything that I'm going to attach myself to Rinya Nakamura, be it a hype train or not. I don't care what people think or say. No, actually, I think he's definitely someone to watch. Like he's going to be someone to watch moving forward. He's eerily similar, except he's not from the US, so people don't give it the same bang. But he's eerily similar in his credentials to Bo Nickel in his abilities. Like he's won under 23 championships. He was World Cup at senior level runner up. He was a silver medalist at the Japanese Nationals in 2019, bronze medalist in 2018, bronze medalist in 2015, and World Cadets Championships. He took a bronze medal in the 50 kilos. So he's very, very, very highly credentialed in wrestling. So it's an interesting. He's an interesting person to watch, and he's got like dynamite in his hands too. So I'm really interested to see how far he goes. Probably a little bit further along in his career as far as how long he's been training and that in MMA as compared to a Bo Nickel, but he's definitely very similar credentials. I think he's probably fought the better. He's probably fought the better competition out of the two. Not probably, definitely fought the better competition out of the two. And his wrestling is stellar, as every bit as good as Bo Nickel's. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see how they're going to come along. His dad was, I think, one of the founding members of Shudo. I'm not sure, but I think he was one of the founding members of Shudo, or something to do with that. And so he's been around MMA his whole life. So that's going to be interesting how that shapes his development, because he does. His stand up looks very good. His grappling looks good. His wrestling is absolutely outstanding. So it's going to be interesting how far he goes with this. Like I don't. And the bantamweight division, obviously, it's no joke. The bantamweight division is actually interesting, especially with O'Malley there now. Like he's a really long young guy that can hit hard. And it's always interesting, I think, in those lighter weight divisions when you have guys that can fucking crack. That makes a massive difference in the lighter weight divisions when you have people that have legit one shot KO power. Brad Galea says, "Good evening, legend." Right back at you, sir. So that's where I sit on this at the moment. I think that makes a big difference. He's definitely got power. His wrestling, he's like current, you know what I mean? He's current right now. Young guy, 28 years old, in pretty much entering his peak. That's something we discussed during the Israel Adesanya Strickland breakdown. Was the fighter's peaks, as you like, using stats and whatnot, not just fucking guessing. So he's a young guy coming into that peak. So it's very interesting when you see these wrestlers, or the judoka, or the Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys, or the boxers, or the kickboxers, coming over when they're still in their, when they're entering their prime, not coming in a little bit afterwards. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know if this Max Holloway fight is going to be what I want it to be. You know what I mean? Because I think this might just be a fucking beating, and that's not. Randy says, "Hey Fab, great way to spend Saturday evening hanging out." Randy, glad to have you on here, mate. I hope you're hanging out there, drinking wine, eating cheese, and doing some other classy shit, because you seem like a classy person if you're watching this on a Saturday evening. Back to what I was saying. Max Holloway's the kind of dude that's going to give someone like Korean Zombie really, really bad CTE, and Korean Zombie has taken so many shots. The Volkanovski fight wouldn't have helped. There's a lot of fights where he took so much damage, and the volume punching of Max Holloway scares the shit out of me for Korean Zombie's health. It really does, and he's a bit over it. Like, he's not a bit over it. He's quite a bit past like a point where he's going to win a title or anything like that. And that just saddens me, when you see fighters like that. He's 36 years old. He's not going to keep, it just makes me sad. Last time, I don't know how to combat this. I don't know what can be done about this, but it's fucking madness to me. There has to be, this will never happen just from an audience perspective. People don't give a shit, but there has to be something that, I don't know. The fight's starting 10 p.m. here in Sydney, which is, I don't know how late that is for the rest of the world, but it's fucking late for us. Max is not that old, Randy, but Max Holloway's not that old. I think he might be 30. Yeah, he's 31. He's a young fellow. But it's funny that you say that, because Max has worn a lot of punishment himself over the years, But Zombie's old. Zombie's old for fighting, And I think it was last week or the week before when we watched Weili Zhang murder her opponent, like just fucking assault her. It looked like a hate crime. She hit her like something in the neighborhood of 280 strikes to fucking 20. Like 200, like a strike differential of like 260 strikes. Like, there's no, like, there has to be some sort of thing there where it gets stopped. I don't care if it's for a title or whatever. Like that, there must have been moments in that there must have been like 100 strikes and fucking like unanswered strikes. Like, how long do you let it keep going? Randy says they both look too old to fight. They're weathered, Randy. They're weathered. You just need to relax. West Side says, is the card starting soon? You would imagine so. They're going through, if you can't see it, they're going through like the what do you call it? Like, just introducing the fighters and whatnot. Vanu says, how much hours starts a fight by you? Fuck, mate. You sound like Skywalker. No, look, the fights look like they're going to start now. The Tougher's walking out now, I believe, and he's going to be fighting Porter. And I believe the Tougher's going to bash him bad, knock him out first round. I think this fight. He got knocked out by Tougher's brother, I believe, and I don't think that this Tougher is going to stop the family tradition. Randy says, West Side says, oh, true, what a weird time. Yeah, I think it's Singapore, though, aren't they fighting in Singapore? Randy says, do you think the Sterling fight was stopped early? I think it gets to a point in those kind of situations where it doesn't matter if it was stopped early or not. Like, this is what I think about that. Like, just when you get cracked like that, it's the ref has a split second to make that decision. And I know that like fighters are going to say, let me go out on my shield. They, of course, they're going to say that, otherwise they wouldn't be fighting. But I think the ref does have a responsibility. Like, he can't let you get killed in there either on his watch or her watch. That this is a reality. I'm not even talking about from a fighter's perspective. It's not. If it was all from a fighter's perspective, you'd probably fight to the death. It's not the point. I think that Sterling looked like he was in trouble, and that's all that matters, and he took a couple of unanswered shots. And I don't know, I wasn't the ref in there. When I was watching it, I thought he could probably take a couple more, but I didn't think he was going to win that. Do you get what I mean? I don't think it was a bad stoppage. I don't think, but Sterling will probably feel different. He might have been completely clear-headed, and from his perspective, it was a bad stoppage, and I understand that too. But I think if you're watching that as a ref, and maybe you see him take those extra shots that he did, and it looks bad, you can't really get angry at the ref for calling that, Vanu says, Charles Oliveira, best fighter in the world. I like Charles Oliveira. I like him a lot. I trained with him actually in Brazil. He's a good guy. Very, very. He's actually a really, really good guy. He's one of the few dudes that's actually a really good guy. And I was there when he was a kid. I was with him. He was a kid. He fought 3 times in one night, man. And he was like 17, 18 years old, knocked a dude out with a flying knee. I was with him, you know. And just unbelievable guy, but really, really good guy. A fucking tough one, man. And Vanu says Oliveira or Makhachev. I don't know, dude, because I like Makhachev is like in my opinion, Makhachev is the smart money bet, right? He's a smart money bet. He's the one. He's like you have 2 brothers. One of them like does well at school, does his homework, valedictorian, Ducks here in Australia. The Ducks of the school, going to uni, do your masters, clerk in some law office, become a lawyer, become a barrister, and does really well. And the other one is a bit wild, gets suspended from school, drops out early, blah blah blah, and then I don't know, at 28 years old, develops an app and becomes a multimillionaire. You know, I feel like that's a difference with the two. Like Oliveira is I feel like Oliveira is that second one, the brother that probably not the best bet, but anything could happen with him. But Makhachev's like the smart money to put on. He's a steady guy that can do it. But I just feel like Oliveira is very unpredictable. Oliveira can run hot or cold. Oliveira can be world champion today, you know, or he might lose to someone that's a little bit further down the track. I think like a little bit below him, you know, like Oliveira's you can't pick, but I think on any given day he can beat anyone in the world, and he's proven that, you know, many, many, many times. So I can't pick one, to be honest with you. I really can't. I think Makhachev has the ability to steamroll him, but I think that Charles can also just fucking go out there and starch him as well, you know. And also he's always hunting for submissions. It's a tough one. Original Sin says, Original Sin is a female coach, Feb. You are a female coach, Original Sin? Do we know each other? Like, do I know you? Vanu says, do you remember the armbar from Charles by Ferguson? The bell saved him. He was so lucky. I remember that he looked like he fucking snapped Ferguson's arm, and Ferguson's got to be all the way mad not to have tapped. It's like crazy. Yes. Do I remember it? Yes, of course. And Randy says, who do you coach, Original Sin? That's a fair question, Randy. These are big boys about to kick off. Now, I can't see Parker getting past Tafa. I just don't see it. I don't even see this fight getting past the first round, to be fair. There's some big boys here, man. Ray Stone, what are you drinking? I am drinking water straight from my family's water filter, charcoal water filter. My wife, I don't know if it's charcoal water filter. I don't know what it is, but it's some sort of water filter that my wife has. Ray Stone, mate. Ray, how are you, my friend? Ray has a broken hand. Ray's a professional rugby league player for the Redcliffe Dolphins. This is actually Ray Stone. So if you want to know what it's like to be one of the toughest men in one of the toughest sports in the world, Ray is the man to ask. Ray is a man to ask. He's also quite a good cook, handsome, good dog walker, great conversationalist. There's not much Ray can't do. It really isn't. He's one of those dudes that all the men want to be like and all the women want to be with. He's one of those guys. We're about to kick off round one. I didn't bring the clock out this time because I keep knocking the clock down. And here it's like now it's almost 10:30 and all my kids are asleep. And so I got to try and curb my reactions as well. The gentleman touch here in the middle, Tuffer and Porter, both gentlemen are in the orthodox stance. 1-2 by Porter. Tuffer gets out of the way. Tuffer's looking very relaxed. I don't know, man. People like Tuffer, to me, are the reason you do martial arts, man. I don't think they should be allowed to do martial arts, man. Like, you can't be a 6'3" Heavyweight is light on his feet too. Left hook by Porter almost finds a home. Porter fainting both men in the middle. Porter ate a fucking knee by Tougher. Tougher hits him with, Porter drives Tougher into the fence with a single leg. Tougher's doing a good job of pushing the head down. I don't think Porter's going to be able to get him down. Porter needs to get him down because Tougher hit him with the mother of all knees. That knee would have fucking hurt. Now Tougher's pushed Porter up against the cage. Landed a big elbow. Jesus, he's hit him. Oh, big shots, uppercuts, hooks. He's hitting him like he owes him money, man. He killed him. He's killed him. He walk off KO. That was brutal. That was fucking brutal. I called that one. I did not think that was going to go anywhere, that fight. Poor old Porter. Ray Stone says, and he's 38 years old. That's a tough way to make a fucking living at 38 years old because he wouldn't have got paid much money. And I often think, would you get paid that much money, Fab, to get your head punched in by a big giant islander? And I say, no, sir, no. But then on the streets of Sydney, there's many fucking idiots that do it for free when they're trying to get into clubs. Ray Stone says, shoulder surgery done on Monday. So I've been on the couch eating endones this week. Your podcast is my highlight. Man, thank you so much, Ray. That's one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me. So that's cool. My highlight is not the highlight of my wife's life. You know, this podcast. It's actually a source of extreme embarrassment. Eli Hedges, how are we, sir? Look at him. He's out here watching the card. He's definitely watching it because this one's free. And Eli has been diagnosed with short arms and deep pockets, so he will not be paying for any of the cards. So it makes sense that he's here on one of the free ones. How are you, Eli? Eli's in Brazil enjoying beautiful Bahia with his wife and lovely family. So good for you, Eli. Let me see. Ray says, wow, Fab, you called the first round KO. Congrats. Yeah, man, that wasn't really like Nostradamus shit. That one was like a free one. I think I'm going to do well with my calls. I'm going to go through my calls, actually. I'm going to say who I think is going to win. So I think Aaron Blanchfield is going to be too much for Taylor Santos. I think that I got, like I said, my stock on Rinya Nakamura, I'm all in on him. He could lose, but this guy's a fucking monster. And like I said, he's got every bit the same, like eerily similar wrestling credentials to Bo Nickel. Giga versus Alex. I'm going to go with Giga. I think his stand-up's going to be too much. And I do think he's probably worked enough on his grappling to be able to nullify that enough. And I don't think Alex has the stand-up to deal with Giga. Anthony Smith versus Brian Spann. I would have to imagine that that Anthony Smith is going to be able to survive the early onslaught from Ryan Spann and take that one, I think, you know. And Max Holloway versus Zombie. I think Max is going to fucking beat him black and blue. Like I don't even think that fight should be fucking sanctioned. Rob McKenzie says, hitting him like he owes you money. Classic Fab. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. They're my calls, man. They're my calls. I just don't. It's one of those things, man, where I think with in this fight, like in the main event, like I probably shouldn't. The UFC will never hire me to fucking hype up the fights, but I just don't see it. Like Holloway versus Zombie, I just see it being a one-sided, absolute fucking beating from Max Holloway to Zombie. And I'm a big fan of Zombie. I just don't see him. You know what I mean? Like I don't see, you know, he's a perennial number 1, number 2 contender, Max Holloway. I mean, and what do we got as Zombie ranked as? Is he? I don't even know if he's in the rankings anymore. Yeah, he's number 8 in the UFC featherweight rankings, but yeah, I think it's just going to be an absolute beating from Holloway. Ray, are you out this whole year then, eh? Are you out this whole year and the next one? Because I thought you broke your hand, but you got your shoulder done as well. So you're going to be this year and next year out, or what are you going to do? Like, what's the plan? Yeah, I think Holloway's just going to fucking smash him. I just don't see. Yeah, it's going to be like that Wei Lee fight, and I can't. I almost can't watch it, dude. I almost couldn't watch that fight. She hit that other girl 280 times. The other girl hit her 21 times. That's not even. That's like. I haven't hit my mum 21 times, but that's like that kind of difference. My mum has hit me probably 280 times, you know? Like, it's not even fucking close. Like, I just don't even understand how you can make fights like that. Like, I don't know. Okay, make the fight. Okay, make the fight. But there has to be something that stops that fight. Like, you can't, one person can't hit the other person more than 10 times that the other hit him. And it was just fucking brutal. I say this because I can just imagine that this is what's going to happen in that fight. In the fight that's coming up, I got Blanchfield. I just think that I think Taylor Santos is solid, and she's like very solid. Just decision loss to Shevchenko, who I think Shevchenko is a monster, absolute monster. I've met her in real life as well. She's fucking lovely lady. I like her coach too. He's a good guy. I just think that like a thing comes sometimes every now and then, and this other girl is just Erin's just, I think, younger. She's 24 years old. She's got a lot of experience as well. I think her grappling is probably going to be a little bit better. And women's MMA, I think it's like the lighter weights to a certain degree. Like, there's not a lot of people that can crack. And so if and Taylor can hit pretty hard, but I think that that Blanchfield's going to take her down and I think her jiu-jitsu is going to be a bit much. That's probably if I have to guess. Oh, my lovely wife just gave me toasties. Thank you for the long night ahead. So my apologies. Raystone says, I'm out for the next 4 or 5 months. Excuse me. Randy says, what age do you think is a good age to retire for fighters? Man, it's hard. You can't just give a blanket answer for that. There's so many reasons why these guys don't retire. You know, this is financial, many reasons. And the thing is, it's not accurate. Like, we did a breakdown on Strickland and Adesanya, and we're looking at when fighters peak. The problem is, when you average that out, it looks like guys are peaking in 35, 36 years old. The reality is, if you were to take away even just the ones that are caught, not even the ones that haven't been caught, if you could take into account the ones that haven't been caught, if you're a natural fighter, your age, the peak, whatever peak we think it is, 35, 36 is fucking much lower. It's much lower. And so I think there has to be a thing for fighters, and it's a very personal thing, but I think when you realistically not going to win anymore, you know, you're not going to win a belt, you're not going to significantly improve your life with fighting, and you have to look at the damage you're taking, that's the age to retire. That could be 20 for you. You know, if you're a 20-year-old and you go 0-3 in your first 3 fights and you've been knocked out in every single one of them, I would say to you, this is not for you. And it doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck if you go, no, he could. There was so-and-so that went on after that and he won. It doesn't matter, dude. Like, you're probably doing and done a lot of damage to yourself already. Rob McKenzie says, don't wake the kids, Fab. Your missus will not be happy. No, sir. No, she won't. Right now, we're all good. She gave me some toasties that she made. It was fantastic. I have a good wife, I have to say. Shout out to my lovely wife. Brad Galea says, Singapore is such a nice city. I went there once to cheer on Jake Matthews, Tyson Pedro, and Jessica Rose Clark on the Cowboy versus Leon Edwards card. Singapore is amazing place, man. It is amazing, amazing place. And I love the food there. I'm a big food buff, and I love the food in Singapore. Kelvin says, it ain't the years, it's the mileage. 100%. They go hand in hand, obviously. And I think there's a thing that happens, though, with age. Like, your reflexes start to slow down. You know, you're not getting out of the way of fights. Another thing is, it depends what kind of fighter you are. If you're a fighter that relies heavily on your reflexes, you start, especially getting hit, you start to slow down a little bit, like almost imperceptible. But you, instead of getting out of the way of shots, you might start to wear them a little bit. And, you know, so age is definitely a factor for sure. Leighton J says, happy wife, happy life. Yes, sir. Yes, I'd imagine so. There was actually, my wife and I were reading something. There was like a study done on that, and it's actually true. Like, it doesn't happen as bad the other way. And you think about it, it probably makes sense in that if the dad is out working, for example, most of the time, like if one of the two is going to be out, then even if he's a bit of a dick, he's gone most of the day, and then you're asleep the rest of the time. But if the other person's at home and they're not happy, then they're fucking at home all the time. So yeah, so you'd want your wife to be happy. And I've always been a fan of the Korean Zombie, man. Always been a fan. I just don't see what way he has of beating Max Holloway. I just don't see it. I don't understand what avenue he has outside of just catching him. I don't think he's going to outbox him. You know, I don't think he's going to outgrapple him. And after the volume that Max brings as well is a big problem, man. Big problem. Joseph says, with a baseball bat, coach. Maybe, but Max has got a fucking iron chin. Max has got an iron chin as well. So who knows, man? Who knows? I don't see it. I don't see it. As well, I don't see any way I don't really see, we did the breakdown on that, but I don't see any real way for Strickland to beat Adesanya. I don't see it. I don't know. And Strickland's fucking good. I just think that matchup, there's a couple of like Alex and Israel in particular are two very difficult matchups for Strickland. That they're the two in that division that I think there's no fucking way for Strickland really to beat. Leighton says he's got that Islander chin on him for sure. Common Polynesian with that chin. Oh, come on, Polynesian with that chin. I admire my Polynesian friends that I've grown up with. They're just built for fucking collisions, man. Even the little ones are built for collisions. Rob McKenzie says, how's the future look for Tuivasa in the UFC? I want to be honest when I'm on here, but I like Bam Bam. And his son actually lives very close to me. So I don't want to say anything that could even remotely offend him. And then he smashes my head through a car window, you know, like. So no, the thing I'll tell you a story about Bam Bam. I was at they fought this like a hybrid rules fight here in Sydney. It was I can't remember what the name was. I'll find it. But Combat 8 or something was called. Yeah, Combat 8. And he fought, and it was hybrid rules. Like you could only be on the ground for X amount of time. It was one of those things. And Bam Bam fought Chief Graham, Peter Chief Graham. And dude, like, for anyone that doesn't know, Peter Graham is a legit, like fucking legit monster, legit kickboxing, Bellator veteran. He's got a win over, what's the guy's name? Badahari. He's got a win over Badahari with the Rolling Thunder thing and that. You know, he's a fucking hard man, like a real hard man. And Joe Schmo says, "Good evening, gents. Good evening, sir." And he fought that dude. Bam Bam would have been fucking 18 at the time, you know, and he fought Peter Graham. And he did really well, man. He did really well against Peter Graham. And then he lost. He lost that fight. But honestly, I remember saying to my mate, I don't know who I was with, but I remember saying to him, man, I think this kid's going to be champion, man. I think he's going to be a champion. And I know guys that played football against him, like rugby league against him growing up in Sydney. And he's a monster, dude, an absolute monster. And to play the level that he did, right? You don't play in the NRL unless you're super talented. And he's super talented. So having said all that I just said, I think Bam Bam can do whatever he wants to do. I think it's just a question of if he's doing the right things. And I don't know because I don't train with him. I think Bam, I have nothing like to do with him other than if I see him, I go up and talk to him and say hello to him and that because I really like him. He's another guy that's like a legit, a good dude. You know what I mean? If you talk to him and that, and I think he's got the world at his feet talent-wise. Like talent-wise, there's not going to be many people more talented than him. What he does with it, I don't know. I don't know. Like, and then you're fighting heavyweights with one shot. He can always hit someone and knock them the fuck out, and they can always hit him and knock him out. So he's got all the talent in the world to do whatever he wants to do. Randy says, does he look like a giant in real life? Yeah, he's a big, massive monster with like a scarred up face, dude. In real life, he looks like he does what he does for a living. You know what I mean? He looks like that. Like that's exactly, if you said this guy's a heavyweight fighter, prize fighter, you go, oh, okay, cool. Yes, he is. Leighton says, am I the only one who thought Santos beat Shevchenko last year? This is what I think, Leighton. Both girls had their moments in that fight. It was a close fight. Like, when it's a split decision like that, I think that I can't remember. Like, if you say to me, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, this happened, I don't know. I can't remember that. But, yeah, it was a close fight. Like, you're not wrong for thinking Santos won, but it's one of those, like, it's a close fight, and Shevchenko is Shevchenko, you know, so you're going to have to, I think, for the most part, probably have to try and take it from her, you know, that to get the win. Both girls walking out now. I'm surprised that Ray Stone is still up. Is still awake. Like, that's another one of these things, because I know that Ray is a notoriously early sleeper and early riser. Ray's also going to make big waves in combat sport. Young Ray Stone that was on here. He was training with us and with the guys at Minto PCYC for boxing, but Eli was his main boxing coach. And Ray Stone one day took a fight, and he's a shy fellow, that Ray. So I'm just going to tell this. This is a real story. He had a boxing fight, say, on a Friday night, but that Friday day, he had to do all the rugby league testing, which is no fucking joke. So they do like how fast you can run a mile, like the heavy lifts, all different, a whole bunch of tests. Like you should be done and you should have like the next day off after you do it. And then he fought that night and won. So I tip my hat to you, sir. Follow him on Instagram, guys. Get in early. Get in early. You can't after turn around and say, I knew him when. No. So you have the opportunity now on this chat to follow him. Brad Galea says, I feel like Erin Blankfield's going to be a reigning champ. So much talent, and you can tell how seriously she's taking her career. Absolutely. I think this is one of those things where this is an actual interesting test, to see where she's actually at in her career. But I do, Brad, I have to say I agree with you. I do think that she's got what it takes. 24 years old, great grappler, good stand-up. It's going to be interesting. SG says, greetings, Fabs. Greetings to you, sir. I just saw in the crowd, it reminded me of my house, when I looked in the crowd, I thought this is a disproportionately high number of Asian people. And I think that every time I look at my house, like when I wake up in the mornings, I'm always like, this is a disproportionate number of Asian people in this house because everyone in my house is Asian, bar me. And I had that same feeling when I saw the crowd just then, and then I realized they're in Singapore. So we're about to start. And we're off, both girls in orthodox stance in the middle of the octagon. Nice leg kick by Santos. Blanchfield answers with an inside leg kick of her own. Santos came wading in with a 1-2, but Blanchfield hit her for her troubles. Blanchfield's fighting behind a nice stiff jab. Leg kick by Santos. Heavy leg kicks by Santos on that lead leg of Blanchfield. Inside, both girls trade. Santos seems to have connected there with either a left or a right hand. I couldn't quite tell. Santos is coming forward, not really respecting the power of Blanchfield. Oh, big shots by Santos. And there's a shot by Blanchfield, defended well by Santos. Santos throws a knee up the middle and misses. They trade and exchange jabs, but nothing's hitting. Santos is winding up. I really like this because a lot of the times when you watch a girls fight, they're just outside of each other's range and they're not actually throwing with like the intent to hit and exchange, but these two are, and it makes a big difference, man. When they fight other girls, you can really, really see it. I think Blanchfield slipped when she came in, either that or she might have got clipped. Happened very quick. That's why I think it's hard to judge, like people don't understand how hard it is to judge. I'm not judging the fights, by the way. I'm just watching and enjoying the fights and commentating on them a little bit. Oh, the exchange, but Santos hit her with she hit Blanchfield. But the way she's throwing, if Santos can't get her out of here soon, it's going to be harder and harder as the fight progresses. Blanchfield shoots, but again gets it stuffed by Santos. Blanchfield hits her up against the cage. Santos goes looking for the clinch. Looking for knees in the clinch, rather. Blanchfield is the one looking for the clinch. She's got superior head position here, does Blanchfield. She's got the underhook. She's got superior head position. But Santos seems to be fucking strong as a Brahma bull, man, because she can't even shift her. Working hard is Blanchfield up against the cage to try, I think, not only just to take her down, but to try and take some of the steam out of those punches. I do think that it's going to get harder for Santos as the fight progresses to keep up that kind of power and pace. Not, I think, it's almost guaranteed. Elbows in the clinch from Santos. She breaks off. Blanchfield's trying to push her up against the cage already. doing a good job of it. Santos is getting the read on that double leg. There's nothing that she throws a knee up the middle to Santos. Jab, big jab by Santos. Big power by Santos, man. Blanchfield's doing a good job of trying to tie her up. Oh, inside trip by Blanchfield. She's still committing to this throw. She hasn't got it. She could roll here. She could do a fat man roll. I think that's what she was going to try and do. But she didn't do it. Oh, a little right hand lands by Blanchfield. Inside kick by Blanchfield lands. Nice leg kick by Santos. They exchange big right hand by Santos lands in the mouth of Blanchfield. Blanchfield threw an almost polite roundhouse kick. Big leg kick by Santos. Both girls exchange big shots. Santos goes looking for a big shot. Blanchfield has her up against the cage again, but this time Santos turns her around. Blanchfield, they're just turning each other around a fair bit. Doing a good job. This is going to work always to Blanchfield's favor to start taking some of the steam from the shots of Santos. But I will say this. Blanchfield has to put in a lot of effort to control a monster like Santos. It's very, very difficult. And if they're the stronger person, it's hard for you to do it as well. You still have to use a lot of strength to control it, and could gas her as well. Double underhooks by Blanchfield. There's 7 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, tough round. I think that Santos won it, though, clearly, in my opinion. But I don't know how the judges saw it. I think Santos won. I think she landed the heavier shots. I don't think that Blanchfield had any real control against the cage, but I'm looking at it from this angle. Sometimes they're looking at it from, they're not sometimes, they are looking at it from different angles. So there's 3 of them, different edges. They're going to look different. Kelvin says both gassed. Yeah, the pace that those girls fought at and the way that they fought with exchanging hard, trying to get the takedown, that scramble that went down and then got back up, pushing the person up against the cage, all of those things make it very fucking hard, like to fight like that for 3 rounds. Ray Stone says Blanchfield done well to weather the storm, but Santos's round. I agree, Ray. I agree. We're about to start the second round. And we're off, people. Second round, both girls in the orthodox stance. Inside leg kick by Blanchfield. Santos with a heavy outside kick. Blanchfield's coming forward, man. She's running through like no man's land, littered with landmines. Like there's big bombs here by Santos to wade through. Like you're not just fuck. Getting tired in a fight is the worst thing. Like I don't roll that much, but I hadn't rolled at all for like 3 weeks. Just hurt myself and blah blah blah. Anyways, I was rolling the other day, and about a minute in, I was so fucking tired rolling with a kid flyweight. It was so bad. My arms were hurting, everything. I really honestly thought about quitting. Blanchfield's deep now on the double leg. Santos was very successful in defending the original shot, but now Blanchfield's looking for this takedown. She's looking for that inside trip every single time. Not getting it. She's pushed her up against the cage this time, and it's early in the round. I want to say this name correctly. Uchigari, yes, for the judo aficionados. The inside trip. She's doing a good job. She's pushing her up against the cage. She's getting a lot of time like that against the cage, and she can win the fight like this. She can win the fight by roughing her up against the cage, but she needs to really try and get this takedown, and she is. She's trying. It's not for lack of trying. 3 minutes to go. Blanchfield's doing a good job. She's got the underhook. She's got the superior head position. She tries to ride her over, but isn't successful. Santos is very strong, but she's attached to it. She's like a barnacle, is Blanchfield, like completely like just stuck to her. And Santos can't. Now Santos got the double underhook. Santos goes for a trip over herself. She went looking for like a lateral drop kind of step back, and Blanchfield landed on top. Big mistake by Santos. Big mistake. She's in the guard. The guard's open. Blanchfield is going to do everything she can, but Santos is not doing anything to try and get up. She's now closed the guard. There's 2 minutes to go. Blanchfield will win this round. She doesn't have to do much more than this, and she's going to win this round. And it doesn't it's not just a criteria. Like if you look, it's also the way the fight looks. You know what I mean? You're not going to win your fight. This is not Santos's round. Santos looks like she's trying to transition to an armbar, but it's not. She's not going to happen. She's swiveling her hips. This is interesting though when you watch the girls, because the girls are so much more flexible than the guys. And it's just interesting with the way that men and women's bodies work, you know. They're so much more flexible. Jack Slack, shout out to Jack Slack if you get a chance to listen to him or watch him. I'm pretty sure, I don't want to misquote him, but he said he's got this thing with women's MMA that he always bets that that'll be a decision. And it is true, man. He's right. Blanchfield's transitioning to the back here. And Santos has gotten to her feet. Good for her. 54 seconds to go, but she's still pressed up against the cage. .41 seconds to go. Switch drops down for a double leg. Does Blanchfield. Tries to transition to a double, to a body lock with a double unders. Isn't successful. No, it's universal, Joseph. It's universal. Great job by Santos, but there's only 12 seconds to go. Blanchfield's smart. She's playing the game, man. She's doing a good job. 3, 2, 1, time. Well done. This is really interesting fight from a perspective of like it's a round apiece, in my opinion. And Santos is tired, and I think that Blanchfield's just going to play the game. She's just going to play the game. She's going to grab up, hold up, push her up against the cage, and not give Santos a distance to be able to hurt her. But you know, you can see like in Blanchfield's face, you can see where like she's whiter, and a lot of times the bruises come out more, but you can see where she's gotten cracked. You know what I mean? No, it's a bit swollen, but I think she's gonna do it. The chances of a knockout past that 6-7 minutes, it's much lower, and then the chances of a knockout, like in women's MMA, deeper into the rounds, are much less. Like she might still do it, but it's fucking almost zero. Although Santos does swing hard. Big jab by Blanchfield. That's very good. And that got Santos' respect. Santos is moving backwards in the striking game now. And then she shoots a deep double, does Blanchfield. You know, one of the things with her doubles, after she shoots a double, Santos went looking for a takedown of her own. After she shoots a double, her bum comes back up and out. And so she loses that penetration when she gets in there. They're exchanging. Both girls are exchanging. Oh. Big leg kick landed by Santos. 1 and a 2 by Blanchfield. Oh, they're just exchanging the girls in the pocket. Nice stiff jab by Blanchfield. This round is close, and Fab, I think it was a round apiece. Blanchfield drives her up against the cage, goes looking for a deep double. She has her hands locked, but Santos is fucking strong, strong, and she knows where to put her hips. She knows the positioning that she needs to do. And so it's enough to stop the takedown. I don't think Blanchfield's going to get it down, to be honest with you. She's framing on Blanchfield's face. Blanchfield had a double underhook. She goes looking for the doubles, but the legs are spread from Santos. She's not going to get it. Blanchfield goes looking for a single leg, but she's not in deep enough. And Santos has both double underhooks, and she's not going to get the single leg. I don't think she's going to get the takedown, and she probably knows it. There was an elbow on the break, but she's going to, I was about to say, she's just going to rinse repeat every single time. She's in deep. She's under the bum. The hands are locked, but Santos is so strong. She just gets the double underhooks, pulls them up. Now she's got double overhooks. There's 2 minutes and 57 seconds to go. Blanchfield has her pushed up against the cage. She wins. A big part of this for Blanchfield is that she wins the head position every time. This is absolutely crucial here. So you win the head position, you win the arm position, and that puts you in a position to be able to, if you can't get the takedown, it allows you to recover and hit again. So now she's here. She's pushing Santos along the peripheries of the octagon. They're exchanging. Santos hitting with big leg kicks, and there's a rinse repeat. There's a double leg again. In deep, but her bum's out. She's using a lot of arms to get her. See, like that. But I see the head position is actually very good. Good for her. She's playing the game, doing a good job. There's 2 minutes to go. This would be massively tiring for Santos as well, to be constantly defending that. Because for sure, Blanchfield trained to do this and only that kind of thing. Yeah, Blanchfield is relentless, Joseph. But this is like, how could I say to you? This is her path to victory, and it has to be like this. It's not even about whether or not she gets a takedown. She just got to be busy and swarm her. You see it in boxing as well. Sometimes guys don't hit like as flush, but they're the busier boxer. So they get inside, and they hit a lot of arms. They hit a lot of things, but they're the busier person. And Blanchfield's by far the busier of the two, but she's not like damaging Santos, but she's definitely the busier of the two. She's pushing her up against the cage, shooting that double. Oh. Now, I don't think she's going to get it down. I really don't think she's going to get it down. But she's going to keep doing this. There's 54 seconds to go. Santos is trying to get off the cage. That bicep, see, she's got the underhook, does Blanchfield, and she had the bicep control, but now she's got the wrist control. So she's, nice work. I was about to say, she's got the wrist control on that with her right hand, and she could elbow her, and she did that. She read my mind. Great job by Santos getting off the cage. She's got 29 seconds to go. Right, I don't think she's got the shot in her to put Blanchfield out. So I think Blanchfield's going to win this 2 rounds to 1. 17 seconds to go. That's my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but yeah. Santos goes looking for a shot. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. What a good fight. For women's MMA, which, sorry if I sound horrible, but for women's MMA, that was a good fight. Good for them. Like, it was a good fight regardless, but there are some women's MMA fights that aren't good. This one was a good one, This was a good level. I was impressed. Good for them. Good for them. But I think Blanchfield won that one quite clearly. So I think I'm 2 for 2 in my predictions. And I think Nakamura is going to beat Fernie Garcia up pretty fucking bad. That's this Nakamura kid, man. He could lose this fight, but Nakamura is going to be something, I think. Even if he loses this fight, I think he's going to be something special in this division. I think that the problem for Nakamura coming into the bantamweight division at this point is that there's that changing of the guard, and we actually have a new young monster in that division. Raystone says, mad comeback. I think more than a comeback, though, I think that was always like going to be the fight. You know what I mean? She just had to weather that storm and wear her out. Leighton says, close fight, perhaps leaning towards Aaron Blanchfield. Yeah, see, that's what's funny. I'm not saying you're wrong, Leighton. I'm just saying, like, to me, it was not that close. It was pretty clear that Aaron won. But I can understand how you might think that it was closer. And I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just the way people see the fights. It's very tough to be able to gauge that. You know what I mean? Yeah, Blanchfield won that. So interesting. Joseph says Blanchfield stuck to her game plan. Very, very rare to see young fighters. Yeah, and she just kept at it. You know what I mean? She just kept going and going and going and going and rinse and repeating and you know, I think that it's also hard to keep that game plan going when she has to wade through some pretty big bombs. Rob McKenzie says, bet you a cheese toasty Max retires. Interesting that you say that. Why do you say that? I haven't really been up to date with what's been said. I try not to, because I try to just see the fights for what they are, and I just try and see the fighters. But I'm interested. I'm a fan of Max Holloway. I think he's ate a lot of damage over his career. I think like he looks like he's aged a lot in the last couple of years. Like he just looks like there are certain fighters that he looks like, technically he looks fine, but he just looks like in his face, he looks like he aged a lot. Sometimes when I'm watching him and he's talking, like his face looks different. I think somebody said it in here. Randy, I think, said that he looks weathered, and he absolutely looks weathered, And then when I look up, you have to look up to remind yourself how old is the dude. The dude's 31, like that's youngish, like for a fighter should be heading into his peak. And he looks good. He looks like he's heading into his peak and all of that and da-da-da. But he also looks different, like really different. So if you want to throw around things like you want to bet a cheese toasty, Rob McKenzie, you better be serious, mate, because I don't bet with cheese toasties and things like that. I take my cheese toasties quite seriously. So, so Fernie Garcia versus Nakamura. I'm high on Nakamura, sir. Leighton J says, kind of want to see KZ hang him up and Max move up to lightweight. I definitely want to see KZ fucking hang it up. I definitely do. SG says, Max said on a podcast recently he's never been rocked ever. I think that's evidence that he's been rocked, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I am pretty sure he's been rocked. I was talking to Volkanovski, and he was saying, he was on the podcast. Volkanovski was on the podcast talking about this very thing. And he's saying how he hit Max, and he goes, like, Max's eyes would go cross-eyed, like when he hit him, and he'd be like out for a sec, like he'd be like that, and then 2 seconds later, Max is like, he's good. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that Volkanovski was saying to me. And I think we spoke about it off camera as well. And he was saying to me, man, he goes, I'd hit that guy. He goes, and I'd hit him hard with everything I have. And he goes, and I would see his eyes get like crossed. and then go back. Like he'd be all right after that. So yeah, he might. The thing is, you've got to understand this with fighters too, and not just that, just with people as well. Like, you don't always have. It's like asking me if when when fighters go, you shouldn't have stopped the fight, or I was good, or it was the right decision, or I did this. Or you're asking the person. It's like you ask me when I have an argument with my wife, who was in the right. Me, I was in the right. Of course, she probably thinks different, though. You know what I mean? But yeah, I want to see Korean Zombie hang him up. I do. I don't think him fighting guys that are 31 years old, like a Max Holloway, that's a perennial number one contender, one of the best featherweights to ever do it, a volume puncher, and he snaps too. He's got pop on his punches. He just doesn't have that bang one shot, because that's not how he fights. He's got volume of punches, and he punches and he snaps, and he will hurt you badly. Like, he's the kind of guy that will take, like, there's dudes that will knock you the fuck out, and that's bad. But there's guys like him in the lighter weights that are going to hit you repetitively, lots of times, snap your head back, shake your brain. And when you're on the way down of your career, and Zombie undoubtedly is, these people are the ones that really fuck up your career. And I don't want to witness like that. It's not really what I'm after. Fuck, Max looks completely different when I see him like now. His face just looks different, Maybe he's just gotten older, more mature, and more distinguished. I don't know. I'm a huge Max Holloway fan, dude. I'm a fucking massive fan. He just looks different. I don't know if he's matured. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I'm a huge fan of Korean Zombie too. I really like watching him fight too. I just know that unfortunately for a lot of people, there's there's an end. SG says Zombie might go full punching bag this fight. Yeah, I really hope not to witness that tonight. I like both of these guys. Joseph says being married does that to a man, coach. Yeah, no, but it always makes me laugh. Like, they watch, like, you watch something and a fighter gives his opinion on something, even stuff that they're in. Like, if you ask them a lot of the times, like, were you okay? They'll go, yeah, I was all right. I was good. And he should think that, but that doesn't make it true. You know what I mean? Or you ask them what happened with this, and they give their take on it, and you're like, oh, well, fuck, that's what happened. Even what he said, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, or yeah, so it just makes me laugh, because if you ask me what happened from my perspective and something that I did, I'm probably going to think I was in the right. Otherwise I wouldn't have done it. I don't go around doing stuff to be in the wrong, So who knows? Fernie Garcia is going to be an interesting one for Nakamura, right? Because Nakamura likes to stand and bang. He's got power in his hands. He's a fucking gun wrestler, one of the better wrestlers in the UFC, one of the best wrestlers in the UFC, up there with Bo Nichols, that ilk of person. Obviously, Cejudo's the most accomplished one. But Layden says Nakamura heard a lot of hype around him. Apparently, he has a good freestyle wrestling career. No, man, he has a fantastic wrestling career. He's under 23 world champion. He's basically Bo Nickel, but Japanese, right? He's under 23 world champion, bronze medalist at the World Cup in Iowa in 2018. So 2017 under 23 world champion. Japanese national championships, silver medalist in 2019, bronze medalist in the 2018 Tokyo national championships, bronze medalist in the 2015 Tokyo national championships, and bronze medalist at the World Cadets. He's pretty much a fucking monster wrestler, as accomplished, maybe more so, probably more so than in international freestyle wrestling. More credentialed than Bo Nichols, because this guy has a World Cup bronze medal, in the seniors division, right? And he's also won the under 23 world championships, which is the same thing Bo won as an international. And this is under 23s is massive, because you got guys that like him that in 2017 was gold medal winner under 23s, and then in 2018 bronze medaled, like when he was like a year later, you know. So that's a kind of caliber guys that you're beating, and you're competing against all the Cubans, all the Russians, all the Turks, all those countries from the steppe, all those all the European countries, all the Eastern European countries, the US, you know, all those countries, you know, it's worlds, you know. So it's a decent, very decent level. And his dad was one of the founders of Shuto, I'm pretty sure. His dad was one of the founders or involved with the early development of Shuto. There's a meme titled "Soldiers Before and After World War II," and they're both pictures of Holloway. Yeah, man, he's a fucking warrior. He's another dude that you're like, if somebody asks you what he did for a living, you say that's what he does. You're like, yeah, all right, fair enough. Leighton says could shake up the bantamweight division. Then he could. He's definitely got, and like he's definitely got all the skills and all the tools to do it. He's got fucking dynamite in his hands. On the ground, he's very, very good. He's an unreal wrestler. It's gonna, and I think he's fought better. Not, I think he has fought better competition than Bo has. And he's a little bit older than Bo. Like he's a little bit older in the game. I think he's 28 years old, but he transitioned 3 years ago to this. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see in particular, say in this fight, how he does with his fight IQ. Does he go straight to his wrestling and try and get this fight to the ground? This guy got mad blast double, or does he try and stand and bang with a Fernie Garcia, who Garcia likes to bang, and he's got fast hands and fast, powerful hands. Is he going to do that, you know, or is he going to mix in his wrestling right off the bat and really utilize that? Because that's what's going to start to be interesting. Garcia's 31, Nakamura's 28. They're both 5'7". The weight's the same. The reach is basically the same. Nakamura having a 68.5 versus Fernie Garcia having a 67. The thing is, that's measured as wingspan, you know, and so a lot of the times that doesn't translate to who actually has a better reach. And if you're a lot taller, the reach does matter. You know what I mean? It's not like you got little tiny arms here. The reach matters because you can pull your chin back, you can pull your head back, you can step back, you can kick, you know, so these things matter a lot, you know, as well. Like it's not just like, oh, I've got long arms, you know, so a lot of the times it's how broad you are. Fernie Garcia's got fast, strong shots, man, when he punches. So I would strongly advise Nakamura to be looking for this takedown, you know. He's a minus 900 fucking favorite. This is the same as Bo Nickel kind of thing. This guy's a fucking monster wrestler. The question is he going to stand and bang with Garcia, or is he going to take it to the ground? You know, Nakamura should win, but because he's very trigger happy with his hands, I'm kind of fucking have a bad feeling about this fight, you know. Like, but I'm going with Nakamura. Nakamura's the right money bet, right? But just sometimes with those hands, you know, I'm a bit worried with Garcia. They're going to touch gloves. They do. Nakamura in the southpaw stance. Garcia looking very comfortable in the orthodox stance. Man, I'm excited for this fight. I've been pumped for this fight. Garcia moving along the peripheries of the octagon, switching stances. Nakamura goes looking for an inside kick, does Nakamura. I think Nakamura's just going to take it. He's going to get in range and he's going to blast double. I don't think he's going to mess around. He goes for a jab to the body, changing levels. I think he's going to come with an overhand left and then double leg. Oh, stiff jab by Garcia. Backs Nakamura up. Nakamura's going to throw that overhand left and look for a double leg, I believe, as soon as he corrals him to the cage. That was a nice jab by Garcia. Nakamura's trying to get a good read here. Front kick to the body by Nakamura. Nakamura drops his level once again. I do believe he's setting up this big overhand left. There's the double leg. Garcia defends well. Fuck, this is what I'm talking about, that high level wrestling, dude. I love watching these guys, man. These guys are just so fucking amazing. And the way that he's tying up the legs of Garcia, that level change, her, you know, in that Blanchfield fight, how I was saying her bum is all the way out here. And so she doesn't have that leverage underneath. This guy's hips were basically in the first row, man. That was crazy. Right, Raystone says, should they use Pythagoras' theorem for reach? No, because Pythagoras' theorem is for the hypotenuse. And now there was another takedown by Nakamura. Good shoulder pressure by Nakamura. This is exactly what he has to do. I don't see many people stopping this guy's takedowns, dude. The way he did those takedowns, that was fucking so impressive, man. This is really, really good. Now he's doing a great job getting the shoulder pressure. See this half guard thing that's happening here? The problem with that is that he's the one that's basically a Turk ride for him, you know. If he's past your knee shields and that, he's just going to use that to pin you down. And then it's going to be a long night for you. Look at this, man. He passes the guard now. He's inside control. This guy would feel like a fridge on top of you as well. He'd be so strong and heavy. Nakamura's a monster, man. You're not going to get him off you like this unless you're really good at jiu-jitsu or his mum comes and gets him. Like, there's no other way. Like, you're not going to, like, just buck him off you or anything. He's going to get to every position before you. And not only that, when you're talking, it's not just the skill and technique stuff. When you're talking about guys that win ADCC or that win a gold medal in judo or wrestling, you're not just talking about their level technically. It's also a level of athlete, you know, like you don't get to that level without being just an immense level of athlete, you know, and this is exactly what he is. And he's got his transition. He's looking for a north-south triangle at that stage. Now he's looking for a choke, but I don't think he's going to get this choke. He's not going to get this. Oh, is he? He could. The squeeze on him would be brutal and disgusting. I just don't think he'll get it from this north-south choke. He's got to be careful not to gas out his arms. Dude's going a bit blue, but I just don't think he'll get it. Yeah, no, he didn't get it. But he's doing a good job. He's just making Garcia's life awful. And the problem with guys like Nakamura is that they make you look bad, man. But this Garcia guy is pretty good. I didn't like it on the feet even for Nakamura, but Nakamura's doing a fantastic job, completely outclassing him on the ground. Just doing a great job. He's looking for the far side armbar, is Nakamura. Garcia's doing a good job of defending against this monster, dude, on the ground. He's doing a fantastic job. Nakamura's landing knees to the body. It's good for Garcia, man. 10 seconds, and they're going to let him up, and then he's going to get to start he's going to get to start from the, big elbows, big shots. That's very interesting. But Garcia gets to get back up again. Joseph says, only Gilbert Burns can get out of that. See, that's what's interesting, though. See, just the way people match up as well. Obviously, Gilbert Burns is in a different division. But you saw with Hamzat when they fought, and Hamzat's level of wrestling is not like this guy's level of wrestling. Like nothing against Hamzat, but the difference in actual wrestling between like what this guy and Bo Nickel have accomplished and Hamzat, especially this guy, like he's a bronze medalist at the World Cup. It's a different fucking level, you know. But the chances of Gilbert, because Gilbert's for jiu-jitsu is a top game jiu-jitsu guy. He prefers to be on top, and the chance of Gilbert getting him in a position where he's going to be able to exploit that are going to be very, very difficult for Gilbert to be able to get on top And from the bottom, Gilbert's going to give him hell. Like they're not going to be able to control Gilbert down on the ground like that. But in MMA, they can always stand up and get out of the way, if it gets a bit dicey. So now we're back off in the second round. We're starting again. Both guys, so Nakamura and Southpaw, Garcia. Ooh, Garcia looking for big right hands early on. Garcia definitely is a smoother of the two on the feet. It scares me a little bit because Garcia is like very relaxed with his striking, throws a massive right hand. Nakamura needs this on the ground. I don't think Nakamura can stand with Garcia. It makes me nervous watching it because I am a Nakamura fan, Ooh, nice body kick by Nakamura. But Garcia's he's very relaxed with his striking, Inside leg kick by Nakamura. Garcia with a nice jab. Nakamura slowly edging him towards the edge of the octagon. Oh, Garcia looking for a home for that right hand. Nakamura switches to orthodox, then back to southpaw. Ferguson. Garcia staying in orthodox. Oh, they exchange. Oh, dips his head, does Nakamura, and throws a left high kick. I like the way he's starting to develop, but he needs a lot of work before he can fight the upper echelons of this division. But he looks very good in doing this, man. Like he just has a good understanding of what to do, good vocabulary of strikes to set up his takedowns. 3 minutes and 24 seconds to go. Oh, the trading. Man, just watching the fight, I just fucking, when they start trading, because I know that Garcia's got power and he's got fluidity in his shots, I just wonder how much of it is still left in his hands, at this point, after being on the ground for so long and the fight's been going for a while. Nice jab landed by Nakamura. Inside leg kick by Nakamura. That inside leg kick's definitely hurting Garcia. Oh, he hits Nakamura with a nice left hook. Does Garcia. Nakamura is already starting to change that level. There it is. Man, I love this guy's blast double. It's so good. Oh, it's in deep. Garcia's in deep on a guillotine. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you escape a guillotine. You jump out of the guard, you do a headstand on the ground, and then you flip yourself over to the other side. That is how you escape a guillotine, though. And then but not everyone can do it. But this shoulder pressure that he's putting down on Garcia, he's going to get out. Yeah, he's gotten out of it. Wow. This guy's going to be a fucking problem in a couple of years, man. When he hits like 30, it's around that age, this guy's going to be a proper problem for people. Like Garcia's doing a good job of defending it. He's trying to get his hips away from him, so it gives him a little bit of space to move and doesn't let him be able to get in close and have leverage. But there he is. He does. I was just about to say that's only going to work for a little bit of time, and it only worked for a little bit of time. The problem with guys like this is they make you look bad, dude. They make you look bad. These are people that, since they're little kids, have been doing stuff to control people on the ground. Uses a half Nelson to pin Garcia once again, and then passes the guard. Went looking for a Kimura. Garcia did a good job of going onto his back, but Nakamura is all over him on the ground. Now he's got him in a kind of crucifix. He's looking for a key lock. He has a win by key lock against an Indonesian fellow, Guzman, I think his name is, or something like this. Sorry, man, I messed up your name. Indonesian fighter, but yeah. Elbows now in a kind of crucifix position here. He's starting to land the elbows. There's 40 seconds to go. Even if the fight doesn't get finished here, he's going to do a lot of damage from this position, just even in terms of just sapping the endurance out of Garcia. Garcia's in a lot of pain here. I think that he is at times hurting that elbow, if not hyperextending it. I don't know if he actually managed to hyperextend it, but you could see the grimacing in Garcia's face. Garcia's trying to get to all fours. And Nakamura just does a fantastic job of controlling him on the ground. With 3 seconds to go, 2, 1. I think that if Garcia can't stop him in this third round, where Nakamura is going to finish him. If he can't stop him early, I think Nakamura is going to finish him. Because this would be a massive head fuck. You know, Garcia's not a bad fighter, man. Garcia's a good fighter. But this would be a massive head fuck when you can't, like, when somebody controls you like that on the ground and you can't, like, there's nothing you can do. Like, there's nothing you can do. Like, you start to get to all fours. I know because I've been on the receiving end many times of people like this. You start to get like somewhere with it. You start to get to your knees or something, you know, you start to make a little bit of space and you get to a position, then you think I'm getting somewhere, and then they flatten you back. They put you back on your back. And it's a real head fuck when you're against people like this. This is a big problem. It really saps your confidence. It puts you in your own head, you know, and you're no longer in the fight just reacting, you're thinking. So we're off again. This is the third round. Nakamura comes out as southpaw. Garcia's still there, man. Garcia's still, you know, goes looking for a 1-2. He catches Nakamura. He catches him. I think Nakamura is going to change levels very soon in this fight, and he's going to get this fight to the ground because, goes looking for that overhand left. I did think he was going to throw that earlier in the fight. Oh, they trade inside leg kick by Garcia, and he hits Nakamura, but Nakamura had his hand up. Nakamura's blast double is just amazing. It's just a beautiful thing. Nice body kick by Nakamura. He hurt him. He hurt him with that body kick. He hurt Garcia with a body kick. Nakamura, inside leg kick again by Nakamura. He's landed that leg kick a lot. Man, people don't understand that particular leg kick, that inside leg kick lands on the vastus medialis muscle. It's not that big of a muscle. There's nothing there. It really takes its toll on you. And it's bad because even on the feet, he's getting off on him too, you know. This is nice left hand lands by Nakamura. Goes looking for a front kick to the body. I do think Garcia is a little bit hurt to the body. 3:28 to go. Nakamura is looking down. He's fainting down. He's setting up either a high kick. There it is. He's either setting, hits him with a right hand, does Garcia. Garcia slips. Poor Garcia. He slipped kind of thing. And Nakamura just fucking jumped on him. And that's going to be the fight, ladies and gentlemen. There's 3 minutes to go. He's got the shoulder pressure. He's going to start to pass, and he's going to set himself up for a head arm choke here. I do believe that. His head's not in. Yeah, there we go. His head's now in the position for a head arm choke. Garcia recognizes that. But then, man, it's one of those pick your poison situations because he'd be extremely heavy from this position, Nakamura. He's doing a good job there with that right leg because that doesn't let Garcia get his guard back. It doesn't let him get his hips in the position that he wants to, and it helps him to pin him to the ground. And he's looking for a Kimura and a key lock. Man, Nakamura is beautiful to watch, man. Honestly, I love watching these guys like these, because they're basically they're not like really freestyle wrestlers anymore or collegiate wrestlers. They're like proper like catch wrestlers, you know what I mean? Like the catch wrestlers of yesteryears. Transitioning to the back is Nakamura. Nakamura is looking for a head arm choke from this position now. He's no longer looking for the back. Garcia is trying to defend like this. This is not really that beneficial to defend like that. It doesn't really work in the long run, and certainly not in MMA where other things set up. And he eats an elbow to the ear for his troubles. Does Garcia with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. Nakamura is looking for the back. He's looking to get the choke here. He's looking to get the back. Garcia's got a lot of dog in him, a lot of fight, man. I'm actually a big fan of Garcia after this fight. I liked him before, but after this fight, it shows a lot of character, man, to put up with what he's put up. Like, people are fucking assholes that are watching sometimes, and they're real critical, but you don't understand what that would take, you know. Because he's all over him, Nakamura. Nakamura's like all over him. Now he's in deep here. No, he's not. No, he's not. I thought he was in deeper than what he was. Oh, he goes looking for the armbar. He's going to get it. He's got it. He's got it. Just tap, Garcia. It's going to fucking snap, man. It's going to snap. It's not fucking worth it. Oh, my God. That would have hurt him, dude. Great job by Nakamura. And Garcia is not going to get up, man. There's 43 seconds to go. Nakamura's... yeah, I'm surprised that, Jesus. My God. He's so good, man. He's such a good grappler, Nakamura. My God. 17 seconds to go. Garcia with a flurry. 12 seconds to go. Oh, it's a high kick off Nakamura. Throws a right hand. Nakamura hits him with a left hand. He's got a chin on him, does Garcia? Oh, my God. Garcia totally outclassed, but won a fan in me tonight. Good for him, man. Big heart, man. Big heart. Like, he fucking went for it, but, man, there's guys like that are just, that was a different level, dude. I was super impressed by Nakamura. Nakamura, of course, is going to need work. You know, he's going to need some work, but I think if he can settle into his striking, I think, because his striking's a little bit erratic, you know, like kind of stiff still. His wrestling obviously makes his striking more dangerous, and he's got power, but, you know, I'm talking about him fighting the upper echelons of guys, you know, like he's got to work his way up. But yeah, he's still rather erratic, rather stiff, but he's got power, dude, in his shots. And Garcia did a fantastic job of hanging in there in that fight. And I think Garcia showed off a pretty good chin too. I don't know that a lot of other guys would have survived this fight the way that Garcia did. In particular, I don't think they would have survived that armbar. Kelvin says, I would have given the choke, then faked an injury post-fight. Yeah, man. I would have probably like faked an injury pre-fight. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would have done. See, you know, when people talk robberies, you know, when people go, that was a robbery. I was watching that fight and it was a fucking robbery. And it wasn't. It was a close fight. It just went the other way. If they gave this fight to Garcia, this would be a robbery. This would be a robbery. Paul Garcia, man. That's a shit way to lose. Like, I'm not saying he should retire. This isn't what I'm saying. But these types of fights also are the kind of fights that make you want to retire. These are the kind of fights that you lose, that whilst he didn't take a shit ton of damage, there are fights where you couldn't do anything to the other guy, you know, and that is a head fuck. That one is when you know that you're not like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you're not on that level, on that guy's level. And that's hard, man. That domination like that, not even him hurting you. It's just the fact that you could not really get going against that guy. And it wasn't just by accident or he lay on top of me. No, like, dude was taking you down. He hit you. He cracked you. It's hard, man. Those fights are hard to come back from. Kelvin says Wayne slip. Wayne slip. I would have slipped in my own piss out of fear. This lateral drop thing that he did was just incredible. Big head kick lands, right hand lands. They're showing the way he went for that armbar was pretty slick. This armbar, how in was it? They didn't show the whole way. But he's yeah, I can't hear what he's saying. Yeah, man. It was a good fight. Like that Nakamura was my pick. I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on him. And I don't know, out of Giga and Alex, I think Giga's gonna win. I think Giga's just his striking's a little much, I think, in my opinion. They're both I don't think Alex is that young anymore. Yeah, they're both 35. Be interesting. Interesting fight. I'll be back in 1 second, people. Joseph says, give Nakamura just half of Peter Yan's striking and he might as well give him the belt. That's the thing, like the fluidity of his striking, though, is like striking is not just this is what people don't understand with striking. You know, it, it's some people can do it their whole lives and they're just not gonna fucking get it. They just don't get it. And also it's not as simple because not everyone can take getting hit or even seeing the shots coming, like seeing shots coming at them. They can't take that, So um, it's hard to develop that, and it's hard to develop the fluidity and the timing. And like I said, like this guy's good, man. He's powerful and he hits hard and he's got great instincts and he's been around combat his whole life. But his striking still looks robotic. And I'm sure it'll improve. He's a fucking fantastic athlete, And in the next year or so, who knows what kind of changes he can make and what kind of improvements he can make. I can't see him beating Sean right now. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think he's going to fight Sean right now, and I don't know in a year or two what that's going to look like. Kuda says, let's like the stream, people. He's not the type of guy to ask to do that. You know what, man? I should have asked to do that. Eh? Could you please like and subscribe to the channel? Please share it, like it, subscribe it to everyone. I would truly appreciate that. Thank you, Kuda, for that, for reminding me, because I do need people to subscribe. I do need people to like the channel. I do need people to support the channel for the channel to continue. Beetlejuice says, good evening, Playboy. Good to see you as always. Did you nap prior to this late night commentary? I didn't. I had a late night snack now with a cheese toasty. And I also had earlier in the, because I can't handle coffee. If I drink coffee, I'm fucking like buzzing. So I can't have a coffee late at night because I'll be up till fucking Tuesday morning. So I had a Vietnamese iced coffee at about 3 p.m. My wife has all the stuff here, so I'm lucky to be able to have that whenever I like. And I'm a big fan of Vietnamese iced coffee. If no one's had that, if you haven't had that, I recommend you try it. This is something you must have before you die. It is absolutely amazing. I love it. I love Vietnamese iced coffee. Very, very good. It's basically like cold brew with condensed milk. That's what it is. And it comes out kind of like this color. You know what I mean? Like the color I am. And it's really, really nice, man. One Willow says, us to all warriors in the chat, Fab especially. How are you, One Willow? How you doing, mate? Yes, man. Good to have everyone here. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. I love watching the fights. I love calling the fights. I love the channel. I love the guys on the channel. Like Kuda said before, I do need people to like. I do need people to subscribe. I do need people to share for the channel to survive. So please, guys, share, like, and subscribe. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it, man. I just like watching the fights, to be honest with you, and I forget to say that stuff. I'm not that good at marketing the channel and marketing stuff that much. I just like doing the breakdowns that we do. If you get a chance to watch them, if you haven't already, watch the one we already did on Israel and Strickland. We did the breakdown. A lot of work goes into that. I've got a friend of mine who's a mathematician. Ray Stone knows him as well, and the guy's a fucking like smart dude, and he does like all data and I don't know. I'm not gonna fucking butcher what he does. I've got no idea what he does. He does math stuff for banks. That's what he does. I'm not gonna fucking butcher what he does. And he's putting together like all the programs and stuff. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. I like doing all that stuff. So if you can like and subscribe those, our stuff, I'd appreciate it. Joseph says, time to start an OnlyFans coach to market the channel. I have to say, I don't know how OnlyFans works. I would do it, but from my understanding, it's got to do with pornography or something like this. Am I correct? And I don't know. I don't know. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'd probably be rather popular in the gay community. I've got a thing where gay dudes always like me. I don't understand it. My wife has noticed this as well, and nothing against the gay dudes. I'm just saying, in honesty, honestly, it's kind of flattering, especially when you're not, like I'm not the best looking guy to begin with. So that's cool. So I'm not exactly sure, other than that, how that would work if I did something like that. Time to start. Is Ray really on 750,000 a year? You have to ask Ray, Beetlejuice. I'm not sure what Ray makes. If I had the money, I would pay Ray $750,000 a year just for being a good bloke. But I don't know. Leighton says, who you got, Giga or Alex? I'm probably going to go with Giga in this one. I just feel that like he's I don't know, he's a little bit safer with his striking, and that for me to be able to go, yeah, I'm confident that he's going to do it. Like I think he's got enough wins and enough losses in MMA and enough fights in MMA to know that he can apply his striking a little bit better than Alex can. I don't think Alex can apply his striking to Giga in the same way. And I don't think that he can grapple. He's going to be able to really put his grappling on him in the same way. I just don't think so, but that'd be his way to victory, would be through grappling. And I think that Giga's got enough experience at this point to be able to put his striking on show. That's my fucking guess on it. But the problem is they're both 35. They're both 35 years old. They're both, I think, a little bit past it. And it's when you see guys like this as well, a lot of the times it's like who's been able to stay younger the longest and the better. So, you don't know as well. That's an X factor. Joe Schmo says, only coaches. Randy says, I would subscribe to Fab's only coach. You'd be the only one, Randy. One Wheeler says, cooking on 37 degrees here in Croatia like a shrimp on a barbie. I'll tell you something, 37 degrees here in Australia is in winter, we get like 32, 33 degree nights, and they're sweltering and they're horrible. Ray Stone says, Beetlejuice, if you've ever seen me play or do anything for that matter, nobody is giving me that money in a lifetime. Ray Stone, on the $750,000, mate, the hitman, the enforcer for the Dolphins. Beetlejuice says, how's your anxiety been treating you? Me? Nah, good, man. It's all right. You just learn to deal with it, and you understand that it's just part of what happens. Man, I've been, just a few things have happened, like with some work stuff and everything. You truly understand, like, without getting like delving into things too much, but you really understand like that everything passes in life. So sometimes you have good, and you can't sit there thinking that it's always going to be good and that it's so great and you can't do anything about it. That's going to pass. So you got to enjoy the moment and when things are shit, you got to understand it's going to pass, and you're just here in this moment and you got to get through it. So it sounds like hocus pocus stuff, but it's actually true. You know what I mean? It really is that. So once you understand that, I think, or you understand that these things happen, it helps your anxiety a lot. Leighton says, I don't know what happened. Giga against Barboza looked like a world beater, but against Qatar was rough. I think the problem with Qatar for him is that Qatar can he's kind of like a poor man's Holloway, if you will. And he throws volume at you and he puts a rhythm on you. Whereas Barboza, if you let Barboza get off on you, kicking, blah, 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 he's going to do whatever he wants. But Giga was able to, I think Giga is probably a better striker as well. He's able to dictate what he wants to do against Barboza, and that gave him the win. One Willow says, how's Mark Hunt doing? Hope he's good. Haven't read anything about him in the past year or two. I saw him the other day down at the beach, actually. He came to walk his dog, fucking just out of nowhere. I was crossing the road with my dog, and there was a big fucking Samoan dude in his car, and he just looked at me like, it was like, and then he's like, hey, bro. And I looked and I thought, fuck, this guy. Like, I don't know. I thought, hopefully I haven't done anything. You know what I mean? Because this guy was a big fucking massive Islander. And he goes, bro, Feb, is that you? And I looked and I was like, fuck, it is. Yes, it's Mark. And I was like, hey, Mark, how you doing? So we caught up for a little bit. And he's doing really well, man. He looked really healthy. He looked really happy. Man, he's a champion. He's one guy, like I think, a pioneer for Australian MMA. He's a guy who put everyone on the map, not just Australia, but I think like the whole region, like the whole Oceania region, he put it on the map. Like there were guys before him, like Larry Papadopoulos, come out of Australia, I'm talking about, right? Elvis Sinosic, Anthony Perosh. Well, Anthony Perosh is older, but he came a little bit later, in life. So, but Elvis for sure, Larry for sure, Alex Cook for sure. But Mark was a Super Samoan. He's the one that won K1. He's the one that fought in Pride. He's the one that fought Fedor. You know what I mean? He's the man, that put Oshan on the map. So he's doing really good, man. So I'm really always glad to see him doing well. He's someone that I always cheer for, not just in fighting, but in life. And he's really the guy that, like, for me, like made me, because when I was younger, I was young. Like he had just won K1, so I started training with a guy named Sandoy, Muay Thai guy, fucking unreal, like a guru, like an old school Thai guy. And Mark used to train there, and I was a fucking nobody, still am a nobody. And Mark, we used to run together because we used to do the warm up, and then he was he invited me to go and train at his house. And I was just like, man, I was like a nobody, like a proper, still am a nobody, but he was fucking Mark Hunt, dude. He just bashed up Vanderlei, you know what I mean? And I used to go and train at his house and that. So I got like all the time in the world for him, like all the time in the world. Like he's a guy that when I he didn't have to even fucking, like, there was no reason. I was like a 20-year-old kid, you know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, invited me to his house. I trained at his house, trained with these guys. Like it was good, man. Good, not fun. It's not fucking big, massive Samoan dudes, but a young Jamie Tahuna was there as well. And so that was cool, man. That was cool. So I've always got time for Mark, and he's doing well. Beetlejuice says, that's good to hear, boys. Yeah, we have to accept and allow what is not in our control, and accept the anxiety will be there, and it's how you react and manage it rather than trying to eliminate it. 100%, sir. 100%. Layden says, still remember Mark Hunt eating Crocop's kicks. Oh, man. With the shoes and without the shoes, because he fought him twice, dude. He fought him twice. Joseph says, Mark Hunt will always be in my Mount Rushmore of MMA fighters. Yeah, man, he's like a legit monster back in the day. Bro, Hunt's 2 fights with Crocop were the best. Man, his fight, one Willer says, Crocop made my what did it say? Crocop and Mark Hunt made my 20s in Pride. Yes, yes, sir. Beetlejuice says once in MMA and once in kickboxing, 100%. Like the way Mark, man, Mark was a fucking hard man. He's a hard man. And those fights with Crocop, the fight with Fedor, he broke Fedor's nose, man. You know, Beetlejuice says, that's how cool you got to train him. How did you meet him? Because we used to go to the same Muay Thai coach. Sandoy. And just at Sandoy's house was little Thai guy with not little, he's actually fucking jacked little Thai guy, but short. And he's older now. He's a fucking champion, man. Sandoy, if anyone knows him or ever got a chance to train with Sandoy's the best. He's a fucking like salt of the earth guy, like real good guy. I was lucky to have come across people like that were able to shape my experience with martial arts people in a positive way, because fuck knows there was some retards that I came across too. 453 in the first round. Alex is in the southpaw stance. Giga is in the orthodox stance. They're trading kicks into each other's front legs. Big left hand by Alex, swinging a miss. Again, I think when Giga finds his range and rhythm, he's going to start to land and hurt Alex. That's my opinion. Nice kick to the body by Giga. I didn't really train Muay Thai, Beetlejuice. I was always a recipient of Muay Thai. not really fucking I wouldn't say I'm an exponent of Muay Thai. That was an interesting combination. He came reaching in with a left to the body and a right hook over the top, and he almost found a home for it. But the problem is, whilst it looks good once you do it against a striker of Giga's pedigree, the second time you go to do it, the guy gets a read on you and you eat shit. That's what happens a lot of the times. Good combination by Alex. Lands a 2-3. I mean, a 3-2 rather. Now Giga's starting to bite a little bit on Alex's feints. Alex hits him with a side kick to the leg. Oh, spinning back fist by Alex. Now Beetlejuice like fighting, and that was one. I'm not a fighter. Like I don't like fighting. Like I don't like fighting at all. And two, I've had bad knees, like a really, really, really bad knees. On my femur and my tibia aren't lined up. And so sport, like high level sport, wasn't, after a certain age, wasn't really in the mix for it. I wasn't ever really going to be able to do that. So I always, whenever a decision have to come up, like which way I'm going to go in life, like I always had to pick like work or study or whatever over athletic endeavors because of my knees. My knees are bad, like bad. I don't meet too many people with shit knees like me, other than my dad. Alex is doing well so far, but his movements are erratic and they hard to predict. So makes him effective. But those kind of movements require a large amount of energy and a lot of movement. So it'll be interesting to see as the fight settles down if Gigas will start to get the range and start to land the shots. The heavier shots are definitely landing by Giga, to the body, to the legs, but Alex is landing shots as well. They're just not, like some of the kicks by Giga are thudding kicks into the body, into the arms of Alex. That's another thing with significant strikes. Like, let's say, for example, a dude kicks you and you take it on the arms and people go, oh, he took the shot on the arms, not a significant strike. If you get kicked hard by dudes that can kick and you take it on the forearms, you'll be the first person to say it was a significant strike. Oh, the guy's looking for a right high kick. Does Giga taking on the arms? Oh, big kick, swing and a miss by Giga. Yeah, those kick. Oh, 1-2. The two landed by Giga, but Alex was moving backwards, so he wasn't able to hurt him. Giga switches to southpaw rather, lands a low kick, and then lands a body kick. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like he will start if Alex can't get him out of here. I think the kicks to the legs, to the body, are going to start to wear Alex down a little bit, and he's not going to be able to be as unpredictable later in the fight. Sometimes when he's throwing these kicks that he's throwing, he's dropping his foot and landing right in the pocket, and Giga just made him pay for it then with a right hand. Alex again got caught like halfway in that pocket and got hit with a little left hand. Alex tries to blitz, but it's a left hand in the middle of it, kind of intercepted the blitz of his. Alex working hard. He's smart. He's doing a lot. He's doing what he has to do. I just don't know that he's going to be able to do it for 15 minutes. There's 17 seconds to go in this first round. I don't know who won this round, by the way. There's 10 seconds to go. Ooh, body kick by Giga again. They exchange right hand by Giga. Giga goes looking for another right hand. There's 3 seconds to go. 2, 1, time. My opinion, I think that Giga landed the heavier, more telling strikes. In my opinion, I think that Giga won that round. I don't know how the judges are scoring it, but I think that Giga won. Please let me know if I'm wrong or if you disagree. I was so impressed with Nakamura in this fight, in his fight. Beetlejuice says, where's this card taking place? Singapore. Yeah, I think Giga's just going to land bigger and bigger shots as the fight progresses because Alex will start to slow down and Giga doesn't have to try super hard to land those big shots. He doesn't have to wind up like a lunatic. Like he doesn't have to jump around and spin around as much as and move around as much as Alex is. He's just kind of staying set, and he's always in a position. The way he moves his feet and that, he's always in the perfect way, in the perfect position to counter. You know, so he's able to counter once Alex kind of settles down a little bit. Giga can counter. Alex comes in, and again, Giga's thrown the overhand right now to try and catch him on the way in. Right high kick by Giga. Alex in the orthodox, in a southpaw stance rather. Giga in the orthodox. Alex starting to move backwards a little bit. He's not attacking as much. There's 4 minutes and 13 seconds to go in this second round, and Alex is not attacking as much as he was earlier. Front kick by Alex. Giga's starting to corral Alex a little bit, moving him back around the peripheries of the octagon. Hits him with another leg kick. Oh, they exchange lead hands. Right hand for a left. Both men connected. Again goes looking for the oblique kick, does Alex. Nice stiff jab, and then a 2 landed by Giga. Alex hits him with a jab and then a 2, but Giga kind of rolled with it. Oh, they exchanged, but nothing happened. Both of them with flurries. Alex initiated it. Nice kick to the body attempt by Alex. There's 3 minutes to go. Oh, big left hand by Giga. Nice left hand lands by Giga. Inside leg kick once again by Giga. Oh, right hand lands by Giga. Alex showing off a good chin. Nice body kick by Giga. Nice body shot by Giga. Nice jab lands by Giga. Alex goes looking for a 2. Lands a nice little left hand, does Alex. Alex got a chin on him, eh? Alex still in the southpaw stance. Goes, look, oh, nice. Drops his level, throws an uppercut. Doesn't land flush, though. Giga's landed a lot of leg kicks on Alex. You can tell that it's affected Alex, that it's hurt him. Alex goes looking for an overhand left, fakes a knee pick. Nothing doing. Nice backswing kick by Alex. Doesn't land. Nice little right hand by Giga. 1 minute and 46 seconds to go. Right high kick by Alex taking on the forearm. Right high kick by Giga taking on the forearms of Alex. Ooh, big right hand by Giga. One minute, 28 seconds to go. Oh, good exchange. Beetlejuice says, Fab, who does your graphics for your thumbnails? Either David Roberts or my wife. Why is that, Beetlejuice? Because it's certainly not me. I'm a bit of a moron for that kind of stuff. 51 seconds to go. Inside kick by Giga. Alex goes looking for a left hand. Nice jumping side kick by Alex. Oh, nice inside kick. Peter just says they're really good. I thought it couldn't possibly be you. It isn't me, mate. I'm fucking special, mate. Trust me. Nice high kick there by Alex. Haha, just curious. They're always well done. Yeah, it's my wife. My wife or David Roberts, depends which ones you're looking at. I think that Giga's won both rounds, but that's me. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what it actually is. Beetlejuice says, "Have you met Max Holloway?" I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think I have. I might have. If I have, it was just in passing. Mackenzie says, comes out this color, another classic Fab." Oh, with the coffee, it does, man. It does. It does. So this third round, I think Giga's winning both rounds. That's my opinion, but that's just me, how I'm seeing the fight. Like I could be, it's a close fight, so I don't know. It's getting on a bit. It's midnight here in the beautiful Illawarra South Coast. And we're off again. Ooh, right hand lands by Giga. Inside kick by Giga. Boys exchange kicks. Neither one of them lands. Nice left kick by Alex. Another big leg kick by Giga. I don't know how many more of those Alex is going to take, dude. The right hand lands by Giga. Right kick to the body by Giga. 1-2 by Giga. A little jab by Alex. Alex goes looking for a left kick. Doesn't land. Giga goes looking for a right hand. Both guys I thought they almost clashed heads then. Three minutes and 43 seconds to go. Alex lands a beautiful left straight. Alex goes looking for it again, but Giga gets a read. Alex goes looking for an inside kick. Giga answers with a 2-1. Won by Alex. Oh, nice. Big, like, kind of lunging uppercut from Alex. I think Giga's going to land another leg kick in a sec. 1-2 by Alex. Nice by Alex. Lands a body kick. It's hard to say. I don't know who's winning this fight. Like, I thought Giga was winning 2 rounds, but you don't know, and these fights are so close. Nice little right hand by Giga. Giga goes looking for a body kick, but Alex gets out of the way. Giga tries again. Alex gets out of the way again. Inside leg kick by Giga. Well done. And a great read there from Giga, because when he throws his kicks, Alex kind of moves like his torso or his head, whichever one, but he kind of leaves his legs behind, and he threw the body kick twice, missed it both times, but then on the third time he hit the legs like good. Goes looking for the right hand again, does Giga. Nice oblique kick by Alex. Alex, the busier of the two down the stretch. Now in this round, Giga with the right hand. Yeah, see the significant strikes that they have him there. I don't know if I fully agree with those, with the way that they see him. You know what I mean? That's just me. And it's just funny. But like I said, I just think it's a close fight. Like I couldn't disagree. Nice kicks by Giga again to the legs of Alex. Nice little combination landed by Giga. Nice body kick by Giga. Goes up high, but taken on the forearms by Alex. They exchange blows. Neither one had landed flush. Alex coming forward. Alex definitely the busier of the two in this round. I have to give him that. I don't know if he's the more effective, but he's the busier. Ray Stone says, looks like Giga's throwing with more intent, but that's just me. Yeah, that's how I see it too, Ray. Like he's landing the heavier shots too, in my opinion. But Alex just looks busier, So I don't know. Like me, I think Giga's winning, but again, like Ray said, it's just me. And Ray, it's not just you, mate. You are a somebody. Don't you ever take that away from yourself, mate. Giga spins him around. They start. He goes for a rolling thunder kick. Does Giga with 2 seconds to go, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. They hug. They're all good. They're friends. I'm glad to see that their friendship continues to live another day. But I do think that Giga won that. I'll be back in a second, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, people. True story. I just locked myself in the bathroom because the doorknob doesn't work, and I had to knock. I'm downstairs. My wife sleeps upstairs, and I smashed the door. Bah, 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 bah. And she heard it upstairs, woke up, had to go downstairs, open the door because you can only open it from the outside. The doorknob's broken, and she had to let me out of the bathroom. That was my story. Sorry that you guys have to be part of this with someone as irresponsible as me. So far, I've got Junior Tuffer right, Blanchfield right, Nakamura right, Giga right. I'm backing Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann. And I think Holloway's going to do Zombie. So far, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 for 4. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Beetlejuice says, "Hey, Raystone, how long does it take to put those stats together? It's amazing work. I really enjoy what you and Fab do with it." Beetlejuice says, "Hard. You locked yourself in the bathroom. Was your wife angry?" No, she wasn't angry because she's like, it's not like she married someone that she thought wasn't fucking like a bit special, you know. She knows I'm special. So she doesn't expect much. The bar's not that high, you see. So like me locking myself in the bathroom or something like that is not outside of the realm of possibility on any given day at any given time. So it's not something that she's fucking shocked by, you know what I mean? So that worked out okay for me to not set the bar too high. I wonder if Ryan Spann has improved like enough, if that makes sense. And I don't think, like, I think he hits like a truck. Let's be fair. I think he hits like a truck. But I think Anthony Smith can do enough to keep it like to keep it, you know, even on the feet and on the ground is much better. And I think that even his span has improved. He hasn't improved enough to make that difference. Is there anyone from the US here on this? I wonder what the time is. I'm in New York, for instance. It's 10 a.m. in New York. What's the time in Iowa? 10 past 9. So it's early. Not early, but it's like in the AM. Rob McKenzie says, Mark's childhood sounded horrific. I'm glad to hear he looks good. Yeah, man, it was pretty fucking full on what he went through, you know, like that was, and I mean, you can, like, he looks healthy as in like he's, you know, in shape and he's not like let himself go or anything crazy, you know. And so it is good that he's been able to overcome that, you know, and overcome those demons. Like it brutal upbringing, brutal. I'm just watching here some highlights. Adesanya versus Strickland. So I think yeah, that's interesting. I don't really see a path to victory for Strickland. When he fought Tom Breese, though, he really impressed me back in the day. I don't see him. I don't see a path to victory for him, though. I don't see him in the breakdown like we spoke about it, and that we did, and I just don't see him. I don't see a path to victory. I don't see how he's going to beat Israel, but he might do it. You know, he might do it. He might surprise everyone. Beetlejuice says, "Hey Fab, not related, but my wife is pregnant with our second child, and she always seems annoyed. How do I handle this?" Fuck, mate. You're asking me, man. There's like, I don't know, dude. I just know that that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like I know that that's going to happen. You're not going to be able to avoid that. I think that's one of those things you have to write it out. You know what I mean? Like you have to just understand that it will happen. And Ray says, "Lock yourself in the bathroom like Fab." that might be some of the best advice that Ray has given, but that's going to happen, dude. Like you just have to understand that it's going to happen, I think, and understand that there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those fucking things. You know what I mean? Like I was watching the movie the other day. When it was what's it called with Denzel Washington, The Equalizer. Is it The Equalizer? Where he's like he beats everybody up. Anyways, he said when you wish for the rain, you got to deal with the mud. You know, you got to deal with the mud you got to deal with the mud when you wish for the rain. And it's the truth. Like that's one of those fucking things you have to deal with. Like if you want a kid, is fucking that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? That's for sure gonna happen. I wouldn't want to go through it again. That's for sure. It was fucking. It is hard, man. I've got 3 kids under 3.5, and it's fucking brutal. The whole thing was brutal, you know. We spoke about having a 4th kid. My wife and I sometimes we speak about it, but we're like, fuck that. Like these people, my kids are monsters, man. They have no empathy, no oh, I'm tired, or I had a big day, I had a bad day, this happened, that happened. Nah, don't give a shit. You know what I mean? They're monsters, you know, on top of everything else. So nah, it is hard, man. I don't know how you handle it. Um, I just try and understand that it's gonna happen, you know, but it's hard, man. It's hard. And then you've got other kids, you've got another kid, it's fucking hard. It's really hard. This fight here in the first round could go either way. You know, this fight in the first round could go either way. I definitely think Anthony Smith's a better grappler. Um, but that Ryan Spann dude hits like a truck. He hits like a truck. I sometimes wonder, you know, like this fight they made Ryan Spann, Anthony Smith too. Is it for a particular reason? Like, is there any reason to make this fight again? Like, it didn't happen that long ago. It wasn't that I can remember. I don't remember it being controversial. I just remember, like, is there a reason for this fight to happen again? It's like number 10 and number 8 in the light heavyweight rankings. I get it, but um, I just don't think, I don't know. One good thing, nothing against the guys, is actually the card wasn't very bad, but I just think like I want to go to bed. It's 12:15 here, and one good thing is that this fight will probably won't last the distance. So it's for that reason alone that I'm looking forward to this fight. Dude, this guy hits hard. I think he might get Anthony Smith out of there. I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 with this one. I can't really call it. If gun to my head, if I had to call it, I'll probably go with Smith just because that's a safer pick. But I don't have like this one is like it's safer in that I think Smith has more ways to win. Like Smith is not totally outclassed on the feet. It's just that Spann has a way more power. And I feel that on the ground he's a lot better than Spann. And so that's where the differences are for me. You know, that's why I would bet Smith. But I don't know. I don't know who the actual favorite is in this fight either. Um, let me see. Smith versus Spann. So Spann is the favorite in this fight. It says here. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, minus 140, and Smith is plus 120. So, yeah, it's pretty close anyways. I do think maybe Smith, he's got his foot out the door a little bit. These guys aren't very young either. Smith is 35 and Ryan Spann is 32. So Spann is a younger one. I don't know. That last fight was hard because Spann can cracked him a little bit. But Smith survived. They got him on the ground and got the job done. Interesting. I'm surprised. Like, there's a lot of people I think from Australia on this here today that I can see on this show, on like the chat, so to speak. Raystone says Spann win after the number you were throwing up the other night about age. Yeah, it could be, Ray. It could be. Yeah, the age does make a factor after a certain age, especially if the dudes are clean. Like when the dudes start getting better, like 36, 37, they start getting better than what they were, then like, don't want to run around accusing people of things, but yeah, it just, your human body doesn't work that way, and it's like, yeah. So yes, Spann would have the advantage, I'd say. I can't pick it though, this one. I think it's a very close one because there's clear paths to victories for both guys, and I think that Smith has enough experience to be able to get out of the way of the strikes, survive the strikes, all of that until like he can get it to the ground. And I do think that it will get to the ground. It's one way or another. I do think that. Shout out to the people of Hawaii as well, by the way. I remember when Smith was fighting at middleweight, and I've seen him a few times, like cutting weight, and that was a hard weight cut to middleweight for Smith, man. He was a big middleweight. I remember him cutting to middleweight, and I was watching him because I got to watch him cut weight a few times, and it wasn't pleasant, man. He was such a big guy at middleweight, and he looked good too. He looked good when you saw him working out at the back and that. He looked real good. Yes, but his body doesn't look. He doesn't look in as good a shape as I've seen him. Like, at least his body doesn't look as, you know, lean in that as I've seen him other times. But he has had a lot of fights, a lot of experience. He's coming off a decision loss to Johnny Walker, a TKO loss to Ankilov, and before that was he beat Ryan Spann. And Ryan Spann is coming off a submission loss to Krylov, a KO win over Reyes, A win over Kutalaba by submission, guillotine. And before that, the loss was to Anthony Smith. So, I mean, you'd probably argue that the form's with Spann, but he also has a loss to Johnny Walker before he's got a win to Sirkunov and a loss to Johnny Walker by KO, elbows and punches. So, yes. This one I can't pick. Like I said, I'd pick Smith because I think he could probably survive the striking, but I don't know. Had a lot of fights. Smith has a lot. Just pacing, walking around. He doesn't look in the best of shape. Like I've seen him in better shape. Mark Craig is your referee. Ring girl is about to jump off. It seems like they're taking exceptionally long to start the fight, or maybe it's just me that wants to go to bed. So they touch gloves, and we're off. And Smith is in the southpaw stance. Orthodox stance is Spann. Smith goes looking for a left high kick. Now he's in the orthodox stance as well. They're both in orthodox. Front kick by Spann. Smith is lifting his left leg up, ready to check. Nice calf kick by Smith. Smith's got some good calf kicks. You got to give him that. And that's a good way to slow down and break the movement of a guy like Spann. Spann goes looking for a left hand, and Smith goes looking for a calf kick. Left 1-2 goes Spann, and Smith goes, they exchange in the middle. Spann goes looking for a takedown. Smith ties him up. They exchange, but nothing happened. No one went to the ground. Spann looks like he wants to take this to the ground himself. But I think Smith is a fair bit better on the ground. Smith's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got like solid jiu-jitsu. Nice left hand lands by Smith. Spann goes looking for a right hand. Fuck, he's got power, this guy. Another left hand lands by Smith. 1-2, but taken on the forearms by Smith. Oh, they exchange. Smith seems to land clean, but Spann doesn't get the memo that he should go down. Nice kick by Smith. Takes the legs out from Spann. Goes looking for a left high kick. Does Smith. Doesn't land. They exchange. Ooh, Smith went looking for a left hook there. Didn't find a home for it. It's got a nice high guard to Smith and a front kick from Smith there. Smith feints on a low kick. Oh, he lands a calf kick. Jab. Front kick. Nice kick. Oh, he lands a big right hand to Smith. But Spann touches him with one of his own. Those calf kicks, mate. Those calf kicks are fucking him up bad. If Spann can't get him out of this soon, he's eating shit with those low calf kicks, man, with those calf kicks. Nice kick of his own, Spann does. But Smith's found a home for that calf kick, and he's going to land it again. There it is. He just lands it again. Spann goes to catch it, but Smith landed it. He's just stepping outside. He's just looking to step outside. He feints it again, and then he switches stance. He feints. Nice inside leg kick. Goes looking for a left high kick. Oh, he Spann's throwing some combinations. Smith gets a takedown, but Spann is deep on a guillotine. Smith is looking for a body lock pass. He's out of the guillotine. Now Spann's going to be in trouble. There's 1 minute and 40 seconds left. This is the problem. Can you see Spann hasn't got an underhook and Spann hasn't got a knee shield and he's on the offside. So usually people have, like, the guy is passing on the other side and more people are more used to that side. But not only has Spann not got those fundamentals, like, he's also on the wrong side. And Smith is creating a lot of shoulder pressure down on Spann's face, to help him to pass. He's passing. He's went to mount, but Spann did a good job of getting him off mount. 1 minute to go. I don't know why Smith rushed that. I think he could have comfortably stayed in that position for the rest of that round, and wore him out a little bit more. I don't think he should have rushed it. Tuna hook by Spann, taken on the forearms of Smith. Nice little calf kick with not much tell from Anthony Smith. Spann has definitely slowed down. There's 28 seconds to go. Front kick by Spann. In the southpaw stance is Spann, rather. Yeah, there's another calf kick lands by Smith, and Spann is not stepping well on that leg. He's not stepping well on that leg at all. There's 7 seconds to go. If Smith can land another calf kick, yes, he does it. Well done, Smith. 2-1 time. That's a bell. How much? Yeah, he's favoring the leg a little bit, is Spann. It's definitely hurt him. Calf kicks hurt a lot. There's nothing there. It's just like a little bit of muscle and your fibula. And then, the peroneal nerve is close to the surface, so there's not a lot there. So when somebody kicks you, it fucking hurts. And you have to just land it in the right spot. Right now, he's landing it on the outside of the calf, and it's hurting, but he hasn't found, like, right underneath that knee there where the nerve is, or really be just able to disable him. He's doing well though, old Smith, landing those kicks. Let's see. If he lands, I'd say 3 more. I don't see Spann being able to do much more after that, because he's landed them well. He's landed a few of them quite well. And as you land them, they become easier to land because the guy's hurt. I definitely give that first round to Smith. They're off. They touch gloves in the center. Smith in a more classical Muay Thai stance. There's another calf kick lands. He's gonna land it again. He's gonna get outside. Spann goes looking for a front kick down the middle. Smith he's trying to, he feinted it again, and yes, well done. So he feinted it. Smith moved his leg, switched to southpaw, and Smith kicked that leg. Goes looking for a 1-2, does Smith. Ooh, Spann with a big left hook. Swing and a miss. They exchange in the pocket. Nice 1-2 by Spann, and Smith gets out of the way. But I think Smith looked like he ate a bit of a flying knee, but I couldn't see it clearly. Yeah, he did. I couldn't see it though. Oh, Smith is in a bit of trouble there. Smith rolls. He's got him in a butterfly guard. He's in trouble. Spann's landing some big ground and pound. Smith is in trouble, but Smith gets a half guard. He's got an underhook, a deep underhook in there. Spann goes looking for more ground and pound, but now he's holding on, and Smith is able to kind of hopefully use this to clear his head. He had a big flying knee, so he took the 1-2, I think, because I couldn't see, the ref kind of got in the way, and it looked like he ate a flying knee. Now he's trying to roll for a knee bar is Smith, and fucking Spann just says no, and no. 3 minutes and 22 seconds to go. He's looking for the elbows is Spann. He can only land kind of little short hammer fists, because the way that Smith is burying his head means that Spann would hit him in the back of the head. So he's doing a good job of doing that. Spann is not. The problem here is I feel that the longer he lets Smith stay on the ground, the longer Smith can use this to clear his head. And let's see how wobbly Smith is now. I don't know. Smith is covering up already. I don't know how badly hurt he is. Well, I don't think it would have done him any good to get kneed like that in the head. I think he had a flying knee. Spann goes looking for one. Ooh, stiff jabs from Spann. Spann with a front kick up the middle. Spann goes looking for a two. He's got a cut above his eye, does Smith. Rob McKenzie says, you're a very special boy, Fab. Don't you ever forget that. No, thank you. I won't, man. Calf kick landed by Smith. A two by thing taken on the gloves of Smith. Smith fakes a kick. He hits him again on the calf, does Smith. Smith is going all in on those calf kicks. They're around a piece if he survives this round. But the body language of Smith is really covering up. He's like really shelling up. It looks like he's only like a punch or two away from just, calling it. Smith is throwing, Spann is throwing big shots. Smith's taking him on the forearms. Yep, he's walking forward. Yeah, his eyes completely wrecked. That's why he's covering up. Like now I can see it clearly. Who said that? Kelvin says, yeah, his eyes fucked. Yeah, it's really bad. He must, yeah. And Spann keeps looking for it. That's why he keeps trying to jab it. Oh, man, this would be. There's another calf kick by Smith. My God. I wonder how much. Ooh, Smith goes looking for a jab. Man, his orbital's probably broken, I think. Oh my God. The way that his eye looks like this, from here, anyways, from what I can see, it looks like his orbital could be broken. Be interesting if he can land a couple of more calf kicks on Spann. There's a front kick by Smith. Front kick by Spann. Oh, Spann eats a two from Smith. Interesting. 7 seconds to go. Oh, nice calf kick by Smith. Okay, I see it. Me, Fab, I see it as a round apiece. So this will be very interesting to see how it plays out. I could not see what had happened there, but his eye looks horrible. His eye looks real bad from what I'd seen. Yeah, his eye, it looks like he might have broken his orbital, man. He's got a bad mouse underneath the eye, but his whole eye is closing up for those that can't see. He's got a little bit of a cut above his eye as well. It doesn't look good. Like the cut's not bad, like they're going to stop the fight, but like his eye looks bad. But they're around a piece, in my opinion. Around a piece. Some interesting to see. This is going to be interesting to see what happens in this third round. Oh, the doctor's come out here to check his eye. She made him cover up his good eye and see with his bad eye. That's not going to be helpful. Yeah, a lot of fighters, Kelvin, are too tough for their own good. Man, that flying knee. Like imagine getting flying kneed by Spann, right? Bang, smack in your eye. He's a tough man, man. Tough man. And Spann's going to come out and try and stick the jab right in his face, man. They touch gloves. They embrace. It's nice of them. Smith once again in a Muay Thai stance. He'll be looking for that calf kick again. Boom! There's a 2 and a calf kick. And he goes looking for it again. Ooh, nice front kick by Spann. Smith gets in close. Throws a right hand, lands a jab. Moves out of the way of Spann's shots. Big right hand by Smith lands. Spann goes looking for the 1-2. Little calf kick lands by Smith. Smith lands a jab. Smith lands a jab, but Spann lands a front kick. Oh yeah, another calf kick landed by Spann, partially checked by Spann. Calf kick landed by Smith, but it was checked. But it doesn't matter if he's checking it now because those calf kicks would hurt, like whether he checks them or not. And Spann has to be wary of those kicks as well, you know, like he's landing some shots as well, but they're kind of boxing in the middle here. They're not, no one's doing enough to pull away on this round. And I do think, like I said, I do think it's a round apiece. Nice little jab by Smith again. Oi, they exchange. Nothing doing. Oi. Spann went looking for a calf kick. Lands an inside kick of his own, does Spann. Calf kick checked by Spann. Nice little leg kick again by Smith. They exchange punches. They exchange jabs. 3 minutes to go. A 2 by Smith. Smith's going to do another calf kick. He's going to set up another calf kick here. He's going to throw the right hand and the calf kick behind it, I believe, the way that he's moving. There's a calf kick. I think he's going to throw the 2 and a calf kick behind it. Nice little 1. They exchange jabs. There it is. They threw the right hand and the calf kick. They should. That's a good little thing that he does because Spann pulls his head back and leaves his legs behind. Front kick by Smith. 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go. Smith goes looking for a left high kick, nothing doing. Spann's there in front of him, but not hitting him either. You know what I mean? He's not really capitalized on it. Spann's legs, Tommy LeBlanc says, 2 tough hombres. Man, big time. But I do think that this Spann's legs are going to be fucked tomorrow. There's another one. Another calf kick that he checks, but at this stage, it's hurting. Big left hand lands by Smith. At this stage, his leg would be really hurting. Oh, hits Smith with a little left hook. They exchange. He wobbles Smith a little bit. Miss Smith kind of slipped, but it wouldn't look good in the eyes of the judges. Nice 1-2 by Smith. Smith lands a little left hand. They exchange. Oh, man. 53 seconds to go. Smith's going to be in big trouble walking tomorrow. Thing is, Smith's coming forward and he's throwing strikes. And Spann's coming forward and throwing strikes. And that's always going to look good in the eyes of the judges. Smith's doing a lot of damage too with the leg kicks. But it doesn't look as good. And I think Spann's going to win this fight. So he's going to wreck my near perfect record of picks. 9 seconds to go. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. The Glover fight, I think it was a Glover fight, Kelvin. Rob McKenzie says, West Australia loves you, Fab. Thank you, sir. I love West Australia too, man. Western Australia, the frontier people. Now, Western Australia is like a beautiful place, man. You know what I like about Perth in particular in WA? You leave the city, you drive just out of the city, and you're like, it's a red desert and ocean. It's just an unbelievable place. I was really, really impressed by it, by being out there. I really love it. I really, really, really like Perth and WA and all of that. Just such a fantastic place. But it's just so crazy expensive, to go from Sydney to WA. It's cheaper to go. Like I wanted to go to Ningaloo with my wife and my kids and that. And the way that it was gonna work out, it's cheaper to go fucking anywhere else. You know what I mean? It's cheaper to fly somewhere completely different all over the world than to be here. I'm just looking at how they count the significant strikes. So significant head strike 60 to 36 in favor of Spann, but the leg kicks 34 to 5 in favor of Smith. But then the significant strike accuracy 57% for Thingo, and total significant strikes is Anthony Smith 78 and Ryan Spann 77. So yeah, anyways, I don't even know how you pick that, rank that, judge that, look at it. I thought Smith was going to win. I thought Spann probably did it. But again, it depends on like what they're seeing and how they're judging it from where they are. You know what I mean? Definitely the damages in by leg kicks was definitely Smith. And look, I don't know that I think Smith won that fight. I thought Smith was going to win that fight because I picked Smith, but I actually think Spann might have pulled away with that fight, to be honest with you. You know, even though I'm biased the other way because I picked him, you know, just to have my perfect picks. But yeah, I don't know that was actually accurate. I don't know. I can't say it wasn't, you know, like, because the thing is, you got to understand something. In that third round, right, just in that third round, Spann didn't actually do any real damage, I don't believe. And in the third round, I'm talking about, right? And Smith landed the cleaner shots, like he landed the cleaner leg kicks and obviously damaged Spann because Spann couldn't come forward. Yeah, I think Mario, when you look at it, I do agree with I do agree with that Smith landed more shots. Like I think he landed more kicks. I think he landed more shots. But Spann, I felt, was doing in the fight, like when I'm watching it. Do you know what I mean? When I'm watching the fight, I felt like Spann was winning it. But I picked Smith. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't say like I definitely think that he landed like the more damaging shots in the third. You know what I mean? Like he damaged, like that's what I was going to say with the leg kicks in particular. I thought he landed the shots that did the damage, if you will. I don't know what this fight does for either one of those guys, though. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm looking at next week's card. Next week's card we will do, and then after that, I think it's the. Let me see if there's anything in particular which I want to watch. Now there are nothing that I'm like, and then after that is Adesanya and Strickland. So I am perfect in my picks so far, by the way. Don't want to brag or anything, perfect in my picks. If you get a chance to go, yeah, it was a close fight, man. I don't know how, like, it was a split decision. I thought it was a round apiece going into the third, and then the third round I think was a. It depends how you saw it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm I'm not. I can't think that either one of it, like whichever way you went with it, was going to be wrong. Really. Um, But definitely those kicks were landing and they were hurting, and Spann wasn't coming forward anymore. It's going to be one of those things where people go, "It's a robbery or not or whatever," but I don't think so. It's getting late for us older folk that are parents. It's getting fucking late. It's getting late here. It's not late if I was a young whippersnapper. I'd just be starting to get going. But with three kids under 3.5, man, yeah. SG says close fight. Yeah, it's one of those fights, man. It wasn't a robbery. It was just fucking a close fight. It was a round apiece going into the third, and then it really comes down to how you see the damage. Excuse me. How you see the damage, what you think is more effective, what you're seeing as a judge, like with who's getting hit and how they're getting hit, how they're reacting, because you can't. This is something that people don't understand. You can't appreciate that unless you're watching the fight really. If you're watching the fight live and you're really close, you got to be really, really close. If you're really close next to the cage, you see shots that you watch on TV and sometimes they don't appear that bad, but when you were there, you heard it. You heard it and you heard the guy's reaction, and we don't get to see that. We don't get to feel that. There's fights. There's fights that I've been in corners at, like in local shows and big shows and small shows, whatever, and they're right close to you. If you're right next to them, you can see like they're right there. They're like arm's length away from you, and you can hear like bang, bang, bang. Dude, I watched Hector Lombard fight Neil Magny in a fight that Hector lost, and but in that first round, I was like ringside, like watching the fight in Japan. I think it was in Japan. And Hector, I thought Hector killed Neil Magny. I really did. Like I could hear the shots land. Like I think he dropped him with some shots that were like brutal, but then the ground and pound that he hit him with, I could fucking hear it. It was like someone was chopping wood. Like that's what it sounded like. And when I watched that fight back on TV, it didn't sound anywhere near as bad. But I remember watching that fight live and thinking, this guy fucking killed him. Like he killed him. Like he killed him. And Neil Magny survived that. But dude, like the damage he took in, like the shots he took in that first round when I watched it live were crazy compared to like when I saw it on TV. That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you can't you can't watch something on TV, or even you can't watch it. You're not judging, and then straight away be like, "Oh, this thing." It's hard. You're watching it differently if you're judging as well. Singapore, by the way, has great food, says SG. Man, Singapore, the markets there are fantastic, man. Fantastic. Really, really, really good. I fucking really like it. I'm a connoisseur of fine food, so I appreciate it. Having grown up in Cabramatta, I have an affinity for that kind of food. Yeah. And so I believe that Zombie's about to make his walkout. Interesting fight, man. I can see this potentially being a massacre, The Singapore chili crab, yes, sir. Yes. I was actually thinking of that food when you wrote that. I was actually thinking of that food because I remember having it. I was coaching the Australian team for the Youth Olympic Games, and we went there to eat, and that's what I had, the Singapore chili crab, and I had I get the noodles there. It was so fucking good, man. The food was the laksa, all of that was so good. Ofon says, I'm sad for TKZ, but Max needs an easier fight after all the stuff he's been in. Yeah, man. Yeah, but I don't want to, man, the way that Max fights is brain damage for the other guy. If the guy is just going to take the fucking beating that Zombie's potentially going to take. What comment did you put up, Ofon? Chili, that one, the one you put up before? No, it's there. That's SG. You can write it again, Ofon. Don't feel like you can't. Ofon, it's here. It says, I'm sad for TKZ, but Max needs an easier fight after all the stuff he's been in. SG says, this could be another Holloway Qatar situation. I think it'll be worse, man. I think it's going to be worse than Qatar. That's my opinion. I think it's going to be because Qatar's in there, like mixing it up, etc. This is not going to be that kind of fight. This is going to be, yeah. This is not going to be that kind of fight. Like Qatar is generally, competitive. He lost to Arnold. Arnold Allen was a TKO knee injury. He lost to Josh Emmett, the split decision. All right, Josh Emmett's super tough. Then he's got the Max Holloway loss. Now he's in there. Like I think he's more competitive than Zombie, and the way he just matches up with Max is just a bad fucking matchup, just a bad matchup. And the way that he loses a lot of the fights, when he loses them, they're fucking they're beatings. You know what I mean? They're not like, they're knockouts and beatings. They're not pleasant ways to lose. One Wheeler says, I wish everyone could have been in the unplugged Apex during Cove and hear the shots, especially body shots kick. You never look at the fights the same. Yeah, 100%, dude. If you got the chance to do that, One Willow, it would have been different. Like when you see that, you understand as well sometimes why judges call fights different to what you're seeing, because the shots, when you hear them in real life or you see them, also you see people react, like you see people get hit. Then when you watch it back, it doesn't seem that bad. But when you were there and you saw the guy, sometimes the guy gets hit and like you see their face and you see the expression that they have and you see their body language, and it's minute. It's just for a second. But if you were like facing them, you see their body like just for that second do that. And that you understand that was a significant strike, You see it in that moment. But watching it on TV, you might not see it. You might not understand. That was a shot that changed it. Like I remember seeing that with people. Like there's fights that in my mind's eye, I still remember a certain punch, a certain kick that changed the fight for me. And then when I watch it back, it doesn't even look like much. And I try to say to people, no, that was the shot. I remember this happened. That was a shot, Yeah. Ofon says, yep, because Qatar was clearly losing, but he was hitting Max with some really big shots. Ofon says Max's face was still clearly damaged at the end of his Qatar match. I agree. Wilberforce says, Zombie may be a zombie in this one. Ofon says, just curious, Fab, what to do are some of the high-profile decisions that you thought should have gone the other way? Fuck, man, I can't really think of them right now, like, to be honest with you. I don't know if the high-profile ones, I don't know. I can't think of any right now. Maybe if somebody says, this one, I might go, yeah, that one. There's a difference, man, with Like, I think it was a close fight, and I think somebody else won. Like, I think somebody won, versus I think it was a bad decision, should go the other way. They're two different things. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like, when I see maybe Reyes and Jones, I don't necessarily agree with that decision from memory, right? I'd have to watch the fight. I have not studied it. I haven't watched it in years. I don't know how I'm remembering the fight. Do you get what I mean? These are different things. I'm just saying that one maybe for example, but I can't remember if it was that bad of a decision, or I'm just like thinking it was. You know what I mean? Like, um, give me one sec. And again, like I said, there's a big difference between I don't I thought the other guy won and I clearly disagree with the decision. They're two things, you know, they're two separate things. Yeah, maybe that one. Probably I remember at the time, and also there's things like you remember it at the time. I'd have to watch it again. I'm not even saying I disagree, but I wasn't like in the McGregor and Diaz fight when it went to a decision. I knew they were going to give it to McGregor. Like, I think Diaz would have had to shoot him if it went to a decision. But I remember thinking, like, I don't know if that was a if McGregor won that, you know what I mean? But I'm not saying he didn't. You know, I'm not saying he didn't. I'll tell you which one I think was a bad decision. I didn't even watch the fight properly, but Gordon and fucking Pimblett. That was a robbery, if you ask me. You know, from memory, how I remember that, how I remember it, right, and how I watched it. Because in fairness, I didn't proper watch that. Um, Ophon says, I thought Bisping versus Silva. Oh, man, from memory, I can't remember that fight. I remember, yeah, I can't remember that one properly. Khabib versus Tibau, that could have gone to Tibau. I think it could have. Um, um, Cejudo versus Benavides. Um, yeah, maybe, you know what I mean. Like, I can't remember that fight like that. Like, I can't remember him like the Khabib versus Tibau one. That was a close fight, man. That was a very close fight. I don't know. GSP versus Hendricks. That was a close fight. I think it could have gone the other way as well. Um, Ophon says, "Oh man, I forgot about the Pimblett one. Started to feel kind of bad for Paddy since he's more hated than loved by MMA fans at the moment." But see, that's the thing. I can't see those fights. They're a long way away. You know what I mean? Like, I can't think of them right now, and I don't know if I just remember the emotion of thinking that the fighter that I was going for or not at the time got the bad decision. You know, so I can't. I'd have to go back and look at it. What about Moreno versus Pantoja 2? I was watching that with so much bias for Moreno that it clouds my judgment. Like this fight that they just had. See, I don't know, man. They're close fights, dude. They're not. I don't know. They're close fights. I'm 49 and have trained boxing. This is one Willow says, I'm 49, have trained boxing and Savada kickboxing for the best part of my 20s and 30s. Jiu-jitsu the last 6 years. But watching Gaethje versus Ferguson, I was shouting for the ref to stop the fight. Yeah, um some of those fights, like I was watching that Wei Li Zhang fight last week, man, and I was thinking, just stop the fucking fight. Like, this is fucking stupid. It was 280 something significant strikes to 20 something significant strikes. How the fuck is that a fight? Um, My dad is 73 and recently says, oh, fine, and recently got into watching MMA with me. His favorite fight by far was Romero versus Whitaker, too. That was a crazy fight. You know what I mean? That was a crazy fight. Um, McDonald versus Lawler. That was a crazy fight. There are some fucking crazy fights, man. They're about to start, boys and girls. Holloway versus Gaethje. It's 1:02 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. I'm hoping for an early finish, to save Zombie's brain and to get me to bed early. So we're off. Goes looking for a low kick, does Zombie. And old school pride fights, man. For me, Krokop versus Fedor, that was a fucking brilliant fight. That's still to this day, technically one of the best heavyweight fights that I've seen. Like, Fimple says, "Yo, Fab, question: would a pro kickboxer snap an unconditioned shin of a normal person with one kick, or does it not work like that? Not necessarily. Would he snap it? Necessarily, but it'd fuck you up. He'd fuck you up. He'd just kick you and just drop you for sure. Just like a normal person. Like, you got to understand what a normal person is. A normal person is like soft as fucking baby shit. Like, just a normal average person. A pro kickboxer will just kick straight through your fucking leg. Maybe he breaks your shin or not. I don't know. The shin's a pretty tough fucking bone, but he will fuck you up. He'll break your fibula if he hits you in the calf. That's for sure. Like a normal person you're talking about. Yeah, like guys that work in an office or something. Yeah, you'll fucking hurt him. So we kicked off with answering these questions. No, it's a toughness developed in the legs. It's the legs themselves. It's the strength that the people had. Oh, I think Zombie might be a bit rocked. They both kind of hit each other then. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Sorry, guys. I'm going to answer questions in a second. I'll go back to thing here. Oh, big right hand by Zombie. Lands on Max. Nice little jab by Max. Nice. Zombie answers again with a right hand to the head of Max. I can't believe they used to have him fought. It's just funny how it works out. Nice left hook landed by Max. It's not just the conditioning in your legs. It's also like the like, for you to be a pro kickboxer means that your legs are conditioned. They are conditioned. They're not just conditioned, but it's also a process of natural selection that you've got the right body type to be going around kicking people, then you've survived it to this point. So if one of those guys kicks you in the legs and you're like just a normal dude, he'll fuck you up. If he doesn't break your legs, like if he kicks you and he doesn't break it, he'll just fuck you up. It'll be like 1 or 2 leg kicks and you're done. I think 1 maybe, maximum. Like, that will really mess your legs up. Really, like 1 or 2 kicks will mess your legs up, especially if you're around the same size, and you're just like a normal guy, like just a normal dude that works in an office or something. He'll really hurt you. Nice left hand lands by Zombie. The difference between, like, you'd have to say normal person, like, like there's a broad spectrum, but like an average person is really like fucking not much of them. You know what I mean? They're overweight and soft as baby shit. Max hits him with a nice little right hand. They exchange right hands. Neither one of them lands. Zombies landed a few nice shots in this fight. I just don't see him keeping up with Max's rhythm as if it's a Max of old, Zombie lands another right hand on Max. $25 seconds to go. I don't know who's winning this round. I'll say that. I don't know who's winning this round. It's definitely not like a shutout round. for Max. But Max is landing good little right hands to the body, and I think he'll start to pull away second, third, fourth, fifth. Zombie's throwing with heat, though. That's the round. Let's see what people wrote here. So I'm just going to skip a few people. I mean, just street fighting, for example, because I figured a guy with unconditioned shins should never go into a fight because one real fight, kicking you in the legs or shin, game over, don't even try it. He won't kick you in the shin, though, dude. He'll just chop your fucking leg, like at the bottom of the iliotibial band, just above your knee or just below it. And that'll be it. Like, you'll go home crying to your mum. Let's go, Mirko Krokop. He's my neighbor, 20 kilometers from my house. Legend. Irfan says, strange thing about fights like TKZ and Holloway is that everyone expects Holloway to demolish him, but I can't ever shake the result of Pettis versus Wonderboy out of my memory. Yeah, but Pettis, in fairness, not that I thought he'd beat Wonderboy, but Pettis, in fairness, has like a bit more pop than this guy does, you know? And yeah, it's a little bit different. You know, Pettis was a little bit younger as well. Haven't seen the text till now. I'm good, brother, healthy and not complaining. And Ofon says, one wheeler, no problem, dude, and good to hear, brother. Good to hear, man. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please, guys, share. And we're off, guys, in the second round. Right hand lands by Max Holloway. Oh, Zombie's out. He's out. Fucking stop the fight. Even Max was cheering. Now Max is in deep on a DAS. This DAS is so fucking deep. So deep. I wonder if Zombie's going to get out of this. No, he's still awake. He's still awake. Max is saying something to the ref, but see, Zombie's pushing the hips away, so he's doing a good job. Max is trying to get in close. He's trying to get as long as Zombie can keep the hips away. Now Max is starting to close it up. But Zombie's doing a good job. He's still moving away. He's moving his hips away from Max's. Max did a good job of not losing that position, of not exhausting his arms. Now he starts to land big shots on Zombie. Zombie's looking for a single leg of his own. Zombie did such a good job of defending. I thought that he fucking killed him, dude, Maxen, when he landed that shot. Got him good on the chin. No fumples, fimples. A pro fighter could very well break your leg. Don't think that they couldn't. They could very well break your leg. Zombie's rocked, man. He's not in a good place. And Max is landing some shots here, man. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant to watch, you know, like it's not uppercut from Zombie. Max is going to land some more shots here. Zombie's like walking around like a zombie. You know what I mean? Like he really is. Nice little right hand to the body. Then Max goes looking for that right high up. Oh, nice little left hook by Max. Two minutes and 19 seconds to go. Max lands a big right hand there on Zombie. Nice right hand. They exchange. 2 minutes to go. Max is doing a great job of making Zombie kind of lunge in and then just hitting him with those counters. I was looking for a right high kick, does Max. I just don't know what you're going to do with Max either. Like, who's he going to fight? Unless Topuria beats Volkanovski. Yeah, I agree with you. I can't remember Zombie looking worse until the Volk match in later rounds. Um, yeah, it took a little bit, you know what I mean? Whereas Max, like, just dismantling him and landing some good shots, dropped him already. Big submission attempt by Max. Oh, nice little left hand. Ofon says, I think Max doesn't know either. Also, Volk is so dominant that he'd likely get a rematch even if he loses to someone like Topuria. Oh, if he lost to Topuria, definitely get a rematch. Definitely. 100 billion% he'd get a rematch. It's a tough position for Max. But Max hasn't fought Topuria either. That's an interesting one. Now Max has switched to southpaw. Max goes looking for a high kick but gets knocked off balance. And that's the round. Wow. That was thing. Man, going back to the guy that's asking to Fumples Fimples about, so then shouldn't leg and shin conditioning be the first thing recommended to anyone looking to be able to defend themselves? I think it depends. Like, it's a funny question that about defending yourself. What in any fighting style? I think it depends. Like, it's the most prevalent thing in a street fight are not leg kicks, though. Do you know what I mean? So it's probably not the thing you need. Like, defending yourself is a broad thing. It's a broad concept. Like, to me, it's like you got to get the most bang for your buck. So I'd probably say to you, learn a box and do either judo or wrestling. You know what I mean? To avoid going to the ground. And if you do go into the ground, that both of those arts offer things to do on the ground, even though it's not jujitsu. But because you can't, like, most fights are not ended by leg kicks. Most people, like, if you're going to fight, I'd say to you have to have conditioned legs. You have to know how to check kicks and all of that. But like, if you just like defending yourself is not the same as fighting in the streets either. You know what I mean? Getting into street fights. Oh, Zombie comes out powerful. He starts trading with Max. He's making this a dirty fight. It looks as man, he's big fight now. Max killed him. Killed him. Fucking massive right hand. Jesus. Max jumps and he's hugging people and running out into the crowd. Fuck me, Dad. That was a big shot. He's yelling at people. Zombie came out like, man, just throwing bombs. Fuck. And Max cracked him. But yeah, it was sad. It's sad for me to watch Zombie, you know? That was a huge right hand. Ofon says, I hope TKZ is all right. He is not all right, dude. He is not okay. He's pretty fucking far from okay, I'd say. Just came out trading. And look, man, he lost. So it looks like it was a bad strategy. But I mean, what was he going to do? Stay in the mid ground and let Max fucking tee off on him for 5 rounds? No. So he went out. Maybe he connected on Max and dropped him, and then everyone would look. That was like inches there. He landed on Max straight after Max landed on him, but he was gone. This guy was unconscious and still swinging, so man, I don't know if it was boom. Oh my God. That was a bad knockout, man. Fumple Fimple says, I just find it straight how even pro fighters have had their shins snapped in fights. Sorry if I'm getting annoyed to just talk about leg kicks. Yeah, but when you get your shin snapped from a leg kick, that also depends like where on the lever you're kicking and how you're landing. That matters a lot as well. Like which part of your body you connected, and that could just be serendipitous. That could just be happenstance. If you're landing with the thinnest part of your tibia and fibula, like your tibia down the bottom, and the dude checks it, and he checks it right on the top of his tibia, where the like just before the knee, you're gonna break your leg, dude. Like that, and this is like, yeah. One Willow says, mate, one good and hard low kick with sweep tendency 95% of the time. Plebs, casual softies are crying on the floor. Yeah, 100%. It's a big difference, man. Like you kick someone, and like what I was going to say to you before, you don't even have to be a Muay Thai guy, blah, blah, blah. If you're like a soccer player, a strong soccer player that knows how to kick a ball hard, you'll kick like a normal person and sweep them off their fucking feet. That's for sure, 100%. But gentlemen, it's gotten very, very late for me. I have to go before I lose my marriage, my kids, everything. Guys, thank you so much. So much. Oh, Coach, need a plug on that sweater you're rocking. That looks dope. This I bought in Uruguay. It's from Bolivian people, just street stalls. In Uruguay, I bought it in 2000 or something for like $20 Australian. It's alpaca. It's pretty good, man. Guys, I got to go. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please share, guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Take care, man. Bye-bye.